Good evening, welcome to the 8th night of cricket here in Gibraltar, and you can certainly see that the wind's picking up. It's another cold, chilly one here at the Europa Point Stadium. We've got two big games coming up here this evening. Sloggers CC taking on Rugby CC, and Rugby CC, a team that is still very heavily reliant on one man, Ian Latine, top run scorer in the tournament at the moment. He'll be hoping that he can certainly add some more runs to the list. I'm certainly looking forward to bringing you the action as we're ready to get underway then. Two more matches for the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar with myself, Charlie Hunt, on the European Cricket Network.
And that's exactly where we are then here at the Europa Point Stadium for matches 15 and 16 of the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar. It's two very, very thrilling games with Sloggers taking on Rugby CC. And of course, we're very excited for these two games. For a nice bit of Friday evening cricket, we can go to tournament referee Stefan Gucci with the two captains for the coin toss.
Yeah. Rugby the call.
Tails.
Tails is the call. It's heads.
We're going to have a bowl.
Okay, good luck guys, all the best, have a good game. So Sloggers have won the toss, they're having a bowl. Back over to you in the commentary box, Charlie Hunt.
Thank you very much, Stefan. So Charles Harrison, the skipper for the Sloggers CC, they're going to go ahead and have a bowl first, taking a look then at the two lineups. We're looking at the Sloggers first. No real surprise to see the top two of Julian Ferroni and Brian Zammit. They have been on fire opening up the baton. We won't see them yet. We'll see them in the second half of this first game. But no Stagno for Sloggers. That's a big miss at number 3. So Mark Bucket-Easy comes into the lineup in it. So he's put down at number 3. Whether or not he'll come in at number 3 is a different question. But it means we're going to get an early look at Ian Latine for Rugby CC. Of course, 522 fantasy points, but he's got a handful of runs as well. And he is certainly proving to be a very handy customer here in Gibraltar. We already knew that he was, but he's backing it up here. Of course, looking forward to seeing Kabir Mirpuri as well for Sloggers. He's been in the wickets for Sloggers as the two teams just to my right make their way out to the middle. But Samath Bodder comes into the game for Rugby CC again, still holding on an injury. So wasn't surprised to see him struggle. I don't know if he'll be bowling. But taking a look at the expected score, an interesting one as it's picked Rugby CC to finish on around 106. Whereas only the Sloggers finishing on 98. So it's picking the Rugby CC guys by a handful of runs, and that's certainly going to be an interesting one. It's a cold and windy, gusty evening here at the most southern point in Europe, the Europa Point Stadium. It's a pleasure to bring you the coverage. Take a look then. This is an interesting stat as we take a look at the win percentage for batting first and second. You can see there by 7.1%. The team that bats seconds are more than more than likely going to go and win. That's what the stats are telling us anyway here in Gibraltar, with, of course, 9 for the side batting second. Ian Latine will be opening alongside Christopher Watkins. Had a very good evening to everyone tuning in around the world, whether it be on FanCode in India or on the ECN European Cricket Network YouTube channel. Good evening to Android Tuner, to Handle with Karen, also to James and to Ashraful as well. Hope you're all well, and I hope you're all looking forward to another fun evening of cricket. I certainly am. And I think we're going to be in for another 2 thrillers, of course. Had a bit of an interesting night last night with no electricity around Gibraltar for about 20 minutes. Managed to only lose 2 overs per side, so that wasn't too detrimental. And of course, there's a revised total, and Pirates ended up taking 2 from 2 yesterday with some splendid hitting from Kenner and Esther and Lorne Burns in the games respectively. Really good evening to Dave Barley as well. Missing out then, obviously not available for Rugby CC. He's a big miss, I should say. As we're almost ready to get things underway, and no surprise to see that Midpudi will be the opening bowler for Sloggers. Actually, just asking how many matches in a night. We've got 2 matches a night at the moment. And of course, due to that postponement in match number 10, we'll be hoping to get that rescheduled later on in the week, hopefully next week at some point. Information on that will of course be brought to you on the website, ecn.cricket, or over on our social media channels, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and everything else under that category. We're almost ready to get things underway as match 15 is slowly going to be under procedure, and it will be Hamid Mupuri for Sloggers. And this starts down the leg side, and they'll also come through for a cheeky single. And off the mark straight away. And good evening to Dave, who says he's gutted not to be playing tonight. Of course, a big miss as well, but I hope you're okay, Dave, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you once more in a few days' time. And this is right on the money, and Latine just pushes back at it. Again, Latine's been very, very key for Rugby CC, hasn't he? He's top of the run scorers at the moment here in Gibraltar this tournament. And again, he's just been able to really pounce on any short and wide deliveries or any full tosses, and that's exactly what he does there. The chase is on though, and he gets a foot on it, but he takes a tumble as Aaron Baglietto. He's got a hood on and everything. And eventually it's 2 runs for Ian Latine. That's an interesting cricketing look, isn't it? It is cold and windy out there today. Of course, a little bit protected under the stand, but it's very windy and chilly once more. And this time is just defended back to the bowler. But Latine, as I say, or as I mentioned, top of the run scorers at the moment with 281. He's got an average of 93.6, just the bog standard average for him at the moment. And this is a lovely shot, and Harrison will try and come round, and he won't get there. And that'll be the first boundary, and it's a beautiful one. Elegant cricket shot from Ian Latine, and carry on exactly where he left off. Full delivery comes down the track, and that's 4. Midpudi under a bit of pressure early on then. He's up against a very dangerous Latine. And Latine will be saying if he's got anything to say about it. He'll be hoping for a few more runs this evening. Of course, some highlights went out from his previous innings on our social media. If you haven't seen that, go ahead, check it out. And this time is a dot ball. Good comeback from Midpudi, but no, the highlights and clips all going out on our social media. Huge thanks to our digital team, to Shazad, to Nick, and to Ravi and everyone. Doesn't go unnoticed. A huge thanks to all of you guys. And it's 2 dot balls to end the over then. The team missing out on a shorter ball. And at the end of the first, Rugby CC are 8 for no loss. Taking a look at the stats gun then. And well, there is no real surprise to see that Latine is top batsman for Rugby CC at 281. And a man who's who's behind them. And this is how heavily reliant they are on the team at the moment. It's Samath Bodo, and Samath Bodo's only played a handful of games. He's their highest run scorer next up at 43. We're looking at Sloggers, though. They're a more all-round unit. Zamet and Freoni are top of the 2 for them. And then Midpudi is the top bowler for them with 7. But Thomas Ramagi as well. Don't forget about him. 6 wickets for him at the moment. And Zachary Simpson and Nicola Advani with 3 apiece as well. So, of course, no Stagno. So changing the wicketkeeper. That's Mark Makarese. A huge thanks to everyone who's dropping a few messages on social media. It's always nice to get some nice words of encouragement, and they don't go unnoticed either. Jawad Bakari then is going to take the second over up against Christopher Watkins, yet to face a single delivery. And this is elegantly just driven in the offside, and will be off the mark straight away with 1 to the total. I know loads of people will be keeping up or an eye on that South Africa versus England ODI as well that's going on. So plenty of cricket around the world. I'll be in South Africa in a couple of weeks. Certainly looking forward to my little trip down to the southern part of the African continent. And Watkins is wanting a single. He's going to get caught halfway down. He has to get back, and well, they might have a single, and it won't be. And after 3 opportunities of a single, where they still set with just a dot ball. Many keeping an eye on. I certainly am keeping an eye on that score. What's it now? 42 for victory, but 3 wickets left for South Africa. That's a good contest early on. Of course, Joffer Archer as well back into the frame of things. Jason Roy as well with a ton. That certainly was a little bit surprising for a few. He's under a bit of pressure is Jason Roy. But this is a tidy start for Bakari, who struggled with it last time around. Well, that's a good way to start. Watkins not looking up to the task early on here, and that was a wayward shot. Plays all round the straight one. Simple game of cricket, simple you miss, I hit. And Bakari picks up his first in the game, and it's the first wicket to fall. Rugby CC 10 for 1. Just plays all round it, doesn't he? It doesn't really seem to get anywhere near it, and it doesn't come off. And the wicket goes, which will bring in the young Samath Boda, who's back into the squad for this game. And he's going to be coming in at number 3, and he is playing as a batsman still then, so that's confirmation, really. Of course, just struggling with a bit of an injury. You won't mind me saying it's a good story. He was doing some coaching at a local school here in Gibraltar, I believe. And the child stood on the back of his ankle and his heel, and it's not been the same ever since. He's just saying he's struggling with it a little bit, so he's obviously just trying to nurse it and get back to full confidence with it. Well, this is a leg side wide. Excellent take, though, from Bakarizi. Superb footwork, stays nice and low. Good footwork down the left side, and good textbook take down the leg side for the keeper. A lot of people will be saying that Latine will be hoping to pull off an incredible innings once more, and I know that he will be as well. That's just going to be a single. And again, Samath Boda will get off the mark the first legal delivery he faces. And this time, again, a little bit jumpy at the crease. Good fielding though from Midpudi. Nice and tight, a lot of pressure in the infield, and it's a single once more. And that brings us to the close of the second over then. 13 for 1. Well, this is what's gone on so far. Pirates running away with it seems. They're 12 points from a possible 14. Actually 16, I should say. And we're Rugby CC and the Sloggers, that's who are here tonight. Sloggers are in need of a victory from at least one of the two games this evening. And Rugby CC, of course, they're sat in second at the moment. 2 victories here would close that gap between them and the Pirates. Midbury's going to bowl out. He bowled a good first tidy over, went for 8. Of course, just that one boundary off the batting of Ian Latine. And he's in then for his second over. And Latine will just push down the ground. Zammit does the work. And I'll be wondering to see if we're going to see any more celebrations. There's a couple of characters in the Sloggers side, if that's the terminology I think that's best to use. Some with some very interesting and exciting celebrations, which we'll most likely see at some point. A wild swipe from Samath Boda. Sammy couldn't really get anywhere near this one. All truth be told, no real foot movement. And just swings from the hip and gets nothing on it. That's a superb delivery again from Kamini Mapuri. Bit of bounce, no real turn, but Boda just again getting stuck. No foot movement whatsoever. Needs to get that front foot, that first movement towards the ball. And the head as well just gets stuck behind him. And this one barely missing the top of off. This is proving to be a very decent over from Mipuri. Missing by about 5 inches or so that time. And this time he does get some turn. Oh, Samath Boda's just stuck at the striker's end. He's thinking of how he missed another delivery. Mipuri's also got hands on hips and isn't watching. Everyone's a little bit slow here today. It is a bye in the end. That's nicely played. There's a bit of a mix-up. It should be safe, though. As Latine played that with soft hands and was just looking to glide it off the face of the blade. But it's a dot ball to finish. A very tidy over. One off it then for Midpudi, and at the end of the 3 overs, end of the power play, Rugby CC 15 for 1. Of course, they had 8 off that first over and then 5 off the previous one, and just 2 off that last one then. Of course, due to that bye. But another very good over from Midpudi. He finishes with decent figures yet again of none for 9. And we've seen it happen over the last couple of days, more recently than the start of last week. Whereas we're now seeing the 2 opening bowlers will bowl out their allotted spell in the first 4 overs. So that's an interesting move. Will it pay off then? Bakari continuing. Of course, already has picked up that wicket of Watkins. And again, he struggled first time around. Yes, last time he was here for the Sloggers. That's his first wicket of the tournament as well in that last over for Bakari. And he bowled once in that game against the Pirates and went wicketless and went for 19 as well, so it wasn't the best of times, and scored a single run. So has only played the 1 game at the moment. This is, of course, his second for the Sloggers in this tournament. Of course, played last year as well. And this is a lovely shot and over the infield, and that'll be another boundary. A superb stroke off the blade for Ian Latine. Advances, as we've seen him do so many times. The result is, as we're also used to seeing as well, 4 more England now 266 for 8. And that's Curran gone as well. Uh-oh. Oh, super comeback from Bacardi. Latine once more advancing as he has done and almost always does. Gets a bit of a nut from Bacardi. And again, this time, puts himself in a position where, again, sometimes he just, of course, he is a super talented batsman, don't get me wrong, and he's a very talented cricketer here in Gibraltar, but always looking to get on that front foot and push down the ground and come down the track. Sometimes he just gets himself in some unconventional spaces and some unconventional ways of going about it, but it's been pretty successful so far, hasn't it? 280 odd runs to his name, plus 14 at the moment. And that's well weighted from Bodder. And again, we'll just push for a single. And that will be the end of the spell then for Bakari. He goes for 1 for 12, and that's a good second try of it for Bakari. And at the end of the fourth, Rugby CC are 22 for 1. Story so far, then Watkins went for 1 and then was cleaned up the very next delivery by Jawad Bakari, who again, he'll be rather content. That was his first wicket on the European Cricket Network as well, so he'll be pretty happy to have finally got that under his belt. And Brian Zammit is going to be the next bowler here in the 5th. And starts with a short delivery and right into the ribs of Samath Bodder. He's going to have to wear that one a little bit. It's right onto the side. He's okay though. Just might have taken a bit of wind out of him momentarily. And again is late on it off the splice of the bat. Bodder just not really giving himself enough time. Looks rushed out there in the middle. Again, that foot movement is minuscule. Just needs to give himself a bit of time here. He's 3 off 10 now. And we'll push this for once more another single. That's Bakari down at long off. Comes in and collects it. Of course, Rugby CC have still got John Matthews and Harry Pyle to come in as well, as alongside Nicola Advani. But it's mostly relying on that man, Ian Latine, and a direct hit here would have been gone by quite a fair distance, but the throw was wayward from Mirpuri down at backward point, and it ends up being a pretty simple single. Yeah, it would have been gone by quite a fair distance. It's a suicidal run, but banking on a lack of a direct hit. And this time, he's just pushed and swatted down the ground, and that's just a single. Last delivery then of the 5th over. Lofted down the ground. And that's going to be a boundary. Good way to finish the over for Latine, and a good way to finish the halfway mark, because they were looking as if they were struggling. But once more, Latine to the rescue, and he finishes the over with a lovely shot, 4 more. And at the end of the 5th, Rugby CC are 29 for 1. Welcome back to the commentary box then here in Gibraltar for the final evening of my little winter adventure. Rico Full takes over from tomorrow onwards for a week or so. And then Joe's back as well. I know many people are looking forward to getting Joe back on the air. I'm certainly looking forward to hearing him as well. But I know Rico's travelling down at the moment. I know Vinny's paying attention, is Mr. Maximo as well. So, of course, everyone's looking forward to the rest of the cricket here in Gibraltar. Then we go to Malta in a couple of weeks as well. And then I'm pretty certain that after that it's the ECL. So a lot of cricket still to come your way. Of course, this is just the start of the 2023 season. And it's a pretty decent and a good place to start as well with some night cricket. Been a fun first week, hasn't it? Gary Turner-Bone then is going to take us into this 6th over. Just waiting for Bakarese, the wicketkeeper, to get himself sorted. This is a nice shot from Samath Bodda, but it's straight to cover. Good stop though from Baglietto. And at cover. It's another cold evening, so anything that's taken on the flesh, and it's a cold one for sure. It stings. That's full toss. Mid-putty will pretty comfortably and smoothly. We'll just keep it to just a single. And he's got him. Superb delivery from Gary Turner-Bone, and Samath Bodda was looking to be a little bit out of touch out in the middle. And well, that's that wicket. That replay will show us exactly why. No real foot moving, gets stuck entirely. You can see there. Nothing really goes towards the ball. And top of off, that's all you need to do as a bowler. Simple you miss, I hit. Another wicket falls then. It's the second one to go, Rugby CC. 31 for 2. And Mr. Cricket, he's out there in a flash. Nikhil Advani coming in at number 4 for Rugby CC. Mr. Cricket himself. Would not be surprised to see the squeeze be applied here. The more deliveries that Advani faces, or in fact the least amount of deliveries that Latine faces, they'll be pretty content with that. As I say that, a couple of the men on the leg side go out in the deep, and then the squeeze is lifted. Clearly I don't know what I'm talking about. Nikhil Advani then. Goes offside. He's off the mark straight away with a single. Again, swatted nicely. Gonna be a tough chase, but Bakari will get a boot on it, and they'll come back for the second. Yeah, certain few people won't be happy to see foot fielding being used, but being effective that time around. That one really gripping off the mat for Turner-Bone, and it's a good tidy over. And he goes for 5, and he also picks up the wicket of young Samath Bodda. And at the end of the 6th over then, Rugby CC 34 for 2. You can see the projected score is around about that 65 mark. But it's again been tidy bowling once more from Sloggers. Mid-putty and Bakari opening the bowling. Bakari the one to get the wicket of Watkins, and then Zamet when he went for 7, as once more Bodda looked to struggle, and then Gary Turner-Bone with a bit of spin. And he seemed to have had Samath Bodda's number, and he had to go. Ryan Zamet going to continue then after a good first over. Only went for 7. And Advani gets the pull cue out by the looks of it. That's right off the cue end. A little bit early on that possibly was Advani. And the reason I call him that Mr. Cricket is he loves to shadow bat and bowl wherever he is around the ground. Outside edge, and it's going to evade the outstretched hand of Christian Barbada. I think he might have got something on it, in fact, as it's only going to be a single. That's actually very well fielded to get up and have the presence of mind to dive, attempt the catch. He did get a bit of a hand on it, which took the sting out of the ball, and it was A very, very crucial stop as it prevented another boundary, but it brings Ian Latine on strike. 22 off 19, needs to start going now. And this is just drag leg side. It's well watched by Emerson Rebegno. Zammit then, he's again hasn't picked up a wicket yet, but bowled pretty economically. And Latine, we've always said that he takes a few to get going, and then he really kicks on, but he's not quite been given many opportunities to do so yet. He's only faced 20 deliveries. 22 runs is, again, slow by his standards. That's well watched by Advani. It was a pretty straight delivery. A bit more foot fielding just to tease you for Aaron Baglietto. And again, just a single for Advani. Wild. Very, very wild from the team. Possibly a sense of frustration in that stroke there, or that shot. It's, again, probably trying to overhit a little bit. Oh, and that one only missing off stump by a matter of inches, millimetres in fact. And they also come through for a bite. Again, the team trying to come down the track and take the force against the bowler. It's just not paying off though at the moment. And that, of course, was the end of the 7th. 38 for 2 then for Rugby CC. And at the moment, struggling to get up to a decent total. 38 on the board with 3 overs left. And just haven't been able to click again as a batting lineup. Watkins going early, and then Bodo only going for 6 off 14 as well, chewing up a few deliveries in that time. Tyler Bones continuing. Well, that's a lucky break for Mr. Turner Bone, because that would have definitely been a wide, but also a rare miss hit from the team. Struck firmly down the ground, that'll be 4. And they're going to need a few more of these if they're going to build up towards a total. And if there's ever a man to do it at the moment here in Gibraltar, it's the man who just hit a beautiful shot, Ian Latine, with a nice flourish of the bat. 4 more. And again, this time gets through. Turner Bone. Mid putty will come through and cut it off. And it will be another 2 to the total. Good running, but also good fielding. Every run crucial when it looks as if they're going to go ahead and set a low total. Every run counts. And again, hit well. This time it's straight to Bakari. He's come a little bit finer, and it is just 1. This one short and will just be swatted leg side. Harrison mid wicket comes round. Again, an excellent bit of work. Again, has been a tidy over up till this point. And this is dispatched. And that'll be 6. And it's taken a while to get us the first maximum of the night. It's taken us here into the end of the 8th over. But it's no real surprise to see that it is going to be Ian Latine who brings it up. And that is 6 more. And they are certainly going to be needing a few more to set a decent, healthy total. As that means at the end of the 8th, Rugby CC are 52 for 2. It's 14 off that over. It was tidy up until that last ball. And brings the spell to an end. 1 for 19 for Gary Turner-Bone. Bit of a different second over. As the new bowler is looking colder than I am. Don't blame him. Christian Barbara. And well, that's missing by only a couple of inches, but he looks very cold, but that's a leg side wide. Well, that's got snow on it as it re-enters the atmosphere, but it's a single, and this could be where Latine tees off. Well, that's going to be a wide, and Latine almost got caught out. Almost forgot to get himself back into his crease. Crazy was pretty quick. You can see there he almost forgot. But that's another wide. And that's hit in the air. And 6. And no real surprise to see Latine try and take on Christian Barbada. And you may feel that there may be a couple of more of those to come. 6 more. It's been called a no ball as well. Trying to find out as to why that is. So things go from bad to worse here. I think there may have been too many people outside the ring. So this will be a free hit, and it also is a free hit for Latine. He's faced a few in this tournament. And tries to muscle this down the ground and will. 4 more. Another superb shot. It sits up, and it doesn't quite get much easier than that for Ian Latine. And that's another well-dispatched boundary. Already 14 off this over then, after 2 legal deliveries. And again, tries to muscle this down, and again, it's another boundary. And Barbada is not looking happy at the moment. He's asking for his field to be set the way he wants it to. But Latine's just hitting it to all of the gaps at the moment. It's another 4, and that will bring up his half century. Lovely way to do so as well. Flourish at the back the last couple of deliveries. He moves on to 50 once again. That's again a superb half century for Ian Latine. He can't do anything wrong at the moment. And this is going to be 4 yet again. The field moves, and Latine just hits it to where the new gap is over the infield, and it's another boundary. And that does bring up the applause for the half century as the information finally turns through the ground, and that's another beautiful half century. And this time doesn't middle it. This will just be a single. And Varney will get a bit of the action then. That's his 450. 450 then for Ian Latine in this tournament, which is superb hitting. And this is going to be a wide. So it's not quite the end of the over. It's already gone magical. That's 24 already. The 6 means it goes off for 30. What's Advani got then? Just dragged leg side, which means Advani will most likely keep the strike. And at the end of an eventful 9th over, Rugby CC have motored along to a decent looking score at the moment. They're now 77 for 2. .77 for 2 after 9, then a last over. And this is the wagon wheel for Ian Latine. 7 4s and 2 6s. Only 11 dot balls, but that strike rate is at 171, which is very impressive. 360-degree hitting as well. Loads of runs down, long off, but also mid-wicket and through the covers. No real surprise to see that, to be honest with you. And Advani, all he's got to do is just try and get a single. That's all he's got to do. Bring Latine back on strikers. This is hit and hit well, and this could kick on, and it will do. That's one way of proving me wrong. Instead of trying to get a single, he goes ahead and hits a lovely pull shot, and it races away, and it's 4. Not the start for Baglietto. Not ideal at all. And then gets pushed off, and it's a mistake from Bacarese, and they will also come through for an extra run. So wide signalled, and they also take that extra run, and again, just struggling for depth, realistically, our Sloggers with the bowling unit. Oh, that's a rare dot ball. The team plays all-rounded, if all truth be told. Struck nicely. Opportunity for Harrison. And taken. And Aaron Baglietto will get a wicket. And it's the big wicket of Latine, who rarely gives his wicket away. You've seen him bat through all 10 overs, but he won't do so this time. He goes for a very well-made half-century of 55 off of 34 deliveries. 3rd wicket falls. Rugby CC 83 for 3. Good catch from Harrison. It was a pretty simple one, but he's still got to do the hard work, and it's exactly what he does. And the team goes. He'll be unfortunate, and he'll be a little bit frustrated to miss out on the last couple of deliveries, but again, his fun comes to an end. 83 for 3. Baglietto it's a nice celebration, and then new batsman out to the middle then. And we'll start with just a pretty easy single. John Matthews is the new batsman. And Varney's 10 off 8 hit a nice shot leg side. He'll be most likely trying to replicate this over the next 2 deliveries. Shorten tries to pull it, but this will be down the leg side, and he'll probably be quite happy to miss out on it because it means it's a leg side wide. This time pulls and pulls well, however. Pretty good work from Emerson Ovegno, and they're going to try and come back for the second. And it looks as if Advani will go. Understand why they wanted to take on the second. Advani wanted to face that last delivery. But it's good fielding from Rovegno to keep a sense of mind to get that simple throw in and do the basics right. And they will pick up that 4th wicket. Advani goes for 11. Rugby CC now 85 for 4 here in the last over. It was a good shot, pulled nicely. Got the first run in, and then Rovegno just pretty simply just got the throw in, and the rest was pretty simple work for Mark Bacarese. And means the new batsman, which will be Stephen Carey. He's got 1 delivery to negotiate from Aaron Baglietto. It's the last delivery. Last delivery then. And they're going to take on the single, and I think they might get one just due to pure unmatched, no real awareness from anyone there. And they sneak a cheeky single in, and at the context of this game, that single could be crucial. They'll finish with a leg, with a bye, and that means that Rugby CC will end their 10 overs on 87 for 4. And well, there were, at points they were looking like they were going to struggle to get towards a total of anything around 70. They were 38 for 2 after 7, and then big overs in the 8th and 9th meant that they were able to get up towards a decent total of 87 for 4. Take a look at the highlights then of match number 15, the first innings, and it was all one man once again, wasn't it? Ian Latine. He was crucial. Watkins was all wrapped up first up, got a single, and then the very next delivery he faced, he was gone. Meant that Samath Bodda came out, and again he looked to struggle. But a man who doesn't seem to be able to have any issues at the moment is Ian Latine. And Samath Bodda again struggled. He just couldn't kick that ball away, and he went for 6 off 14, which brought Nicola Advani out to the middle for the Rugby CC. Latine just kept on going. There were some lovely cricket shots, 360-degree hitting from Latine. He's been a real powerhouse of the Rugby CC. He's once more is the main source of runs. He finishes on 55 off of 34, as it was the over off of Christian Barbada that went for a fair few. He went for 25 in the end. That 9th over, it was a big over, wasn't it? Of course, that was what helped them get up towards that total. And that was again another one. That one, they moved the field to try and adjust, and he just hit it over where the fielders went. Advani got in on the action. He hit a nice boundary leg side. That was his solo boundary. And then Latine went for one too many. Couldn't quite muscle this over the boundary. Good catch from Charles Harrison. And Aaron Baglietto, he picked the wicket up for himself to take back with him. And then Advani hit one into the leg side. Hit it well. Truth be told, wasn't a terrible shot. However, was trying to come back for the second and wasn't able to get back home. And then the last one, they snuck a cheeky buy in. No one really paying attention. Matthews didn't want the single. Baglietto missing out on that one, which means Rugby CC finished on 87 for 4 here in their first 10 overs, setting 88 for victory for Sloggers. They need to go at 8.8 and over to get another victory on the board. We'll be back then in around about 9 minutes, or 8 minutes in fact, for the responses. You're watching the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar with myself, Charlie Hunt, on the European Cricket Network. And good evening. Welcome back to the Europa Point Stadium for the second innings end of match number 15. You join me, Charlie Hunt, on the European Cricket Network for the second half of this fixture then. We are on the 8th evening then of cricket. And it certainly looks as if we're set for another close encounter, as the Sloggers have been set 88 for victory by Rugby CC here in the second innings of match number 15. Certainly looking forward to this one. Do feel as if we could be set for a tight encounter between these two teams. Of course, top of the order for Sloggers are going to be Brian Zammit and Julian Ferroni. A lot of pressure on these two. You do have to say that these two will feel a bit of the pressure as well. After that, there's a couple of batsmen, and then it's into the tail end. So you do feel that there's a bit of pressure on these, and if you can get one of them early, you're right in the game. The Rugby CC. Thomas Ramagi then to get us underway in the second innings. He's on the money straight away. Zammit inside edge onto the pad. Starts with the dot ball. Good evening though to everyone tuning in on FanCode over in India, or on the ECN European Cricket Network YouTube channel. To James, to Luke, to everyone else as well. Good evening to you. And this is hit firmly, and it's going to split the gap. And that's 4. Lovely way to get off the mark for Brian Zammit. Sits up really from Thomas Ramagi here on this pitch of the Europa Point Stadium, and it's a pretty simple shot for Zammit, but it's still executed nicely, and that's 4. And again, this time it's straight bat. And Varney, Mr. Cricket, doing a bit of shadow fielding, considering he forgets the ball. Ferroni just pushes. That's his first delivery faced. And right back on the money is Ramagi with that one. Gets it outside that off stump, and it's Fuller. And it means that it gives the opportunity more of a ball to swing, and it does exactly that. Good comeback. This time it's 2 full though. Over correction yet again, and Frioni pounces, and that's 4. Beautiful way to end the over. Good over though. Good start for Rugby CC. Good start for even better for Sloggers. It goes for 9 off the over at the end of the first. 9 for none for Sloggers. 74 matches now then, without a golden ball. Of course, we haven't had one since 2022. Yet to have one this year though, so that's going to be interesting to see how long we're going to have to wait to see until we can get that golden ball. Of course, for those who aren't aware, golden ball is how we determine the result of the match if it finishes in a tie. So that's going to be an interesting one to see. But Samath Bodder is someone who I didn't expect to see bowling. He's going to be taking the second over. This is going to be interesting to see how he goes here. It's off a bit of a restricted run-up. And that's good work from the man at short third man. It just starts with a single. And Bodder, obviously, he's probably being asked and saying he has to have a bowl. You can see he's not at full pelt that we've seen him do before. It's just off a couple of strides. But he's still a talented bowler because he can do something like that. It zips up. And Freddie just watches that bat, and he does well to get the hands out of the way. See there the late adjustment. Pushed offside. Gomila is the fielder, and it's just again one more, and that's just been the key for Sloggers. They've been really good at rotating the strike and haven't faced that many dot balls in all their innings so far. Once more, back of the length, just outside the off stump, and this time it isn't a single. Gomila is quick onto this one. And this one is a bit of an away swing. Good take from the always impressive Watkins with the gloves behind the stumps. Away swing this time, and nips away as well. And Zamet just has to watch that fly through, but this has been a good over from a not 100% full Samath Bodda. Fit even, I should say. He's still nursing an injury. But doesn't concede a boundary, and it's a dot ball to end. A good tidy over from Bodda. Goes for just 2, and at the end of the second over, Sloggers are 11 for none. Just a reminder then, as the situation with the table at the moment, as these two teams are sat second and third respectively, so it's a big opportunity to for both teams to jump one each other in terms of points in the table. Ramagi starts here, and this is just dragged into the leg side by Ferroni. Then they'll come back for a second. Good fielding though out in the deep from Harry Pyle. He's always out in that deep mid-wicket region. Full again, and all Ferroni can do is swat it back to the bowler. And again, there's a reason why Thomas Ramagi's high in the wickets takers so far this tournament. Got 6 to his name. Oh, that one is round the corner. Oh, I'll tell you what, a direct hit from the Duracell bunny would have been close. Zachary Simpson sort of came out of nowhere. He was very quick onto that one. We'll see here. Just off the Q end of the bat of Ferroni. And Zachary Simpson would have got his man there. Had it been for a directed, of course, but Zamet makes his ground safely. And this is swatted straight to Gomila though. Gets a hand on it. Carey will do the rest of the work. But still, that's a good bit of fielding in the covers. That was firmly struck from Brian Zamet. Of course, celebrated his birthday a while ago, a couple of days ago. And this one just swings away for a dot ball, and dot balls are crucial. And this is also the partnership that needs to get broken early. These two have been very, very promising for the Sloggers. They've been a key aspect of their success. Top of the order has been pretty safe and set for the Sloggers in this tournament. This is short and struck firmly. Ian Latine, however, down at long on, will take it pretty comfortably. And it will just be a single to end the over. 3 overs down, then end of the power play, 16 for none for Sloggers. Taking a comparison then at this point. Of course, they had a bit of a flurry of runs due from Ian Latine at the end. 14 and 25 off the 8th and 9th over were the 2 big overs. Off that over off Barbada was the big over of 25, which meant they were able to get up to a decent total of 87 for 4. 88 is the target though, and they're just under the run rate at the moment. That rate's now crept up towards the almost 10.5 and over. Bodda's going to continue after very good first over from him. Went for 2. Looking to try and get a breakthrough though. Again is in that corridor of uncertainty and serious signs of frustration for him. You don't need to be expert in body language to hazard a guess as to Julian Ferroni's reaction to that first ball of the over. And again, creeping inside that wide line. Super bowling. Of course, Bodder is very, very successful for the Gibraltar national team. He has been for a couple of years. And at the young age of, I believe it's just 20, might be 19 in fact. He's the youth coordinator, I believe is his role for cricket here in Gibraltar. That's short of a delivery, and again, Ferroni just struggling. 9 off 13 for him now. And this over's yet to concede a run.
It's coming.
Bowler just needs to keep resilient and patient outside that off-stop in that corridor. Superb bowling yet again from Bodder. Struggled with the bat, but he's looking on the money with the ball. He's only off a couple of strides as a run-up. That's not the full run-up that we've seen him use time and time again. He's not bowling at full capacity, but he's bowling very, very confidently. This time just drops his length a little bit, but Harry Pyle is out in deep mid-wicket, and it's just a single. But once more, it's still a very tidy over. It's overs like these that really build the pressure on the batting side, that they know that in the next 2 overs after this, they're going to have a flurry of boundaries. And they need to pounce on any poor delivery that's offered to them. Last ball then here in the 4th. And he will get a bit of bat. It will just be pushed though. And the man at point, deep point, will collect it for one more. And the tidy over comes to an end, and it's superb bowling, and even Zammit can appreciate it. He had the best view. He only faced one delivery. And that means that at the end of the 4th over, Sloggers at 18 for none, 8 off 9 for Zammit, and 10 off 15 for Julian Ferroni. And again, you can see there afterwards, you've got the likes of Midpudi and Bakadaisy to come in as well. But these two will be hoping and most likely be wanting to do it themselves. They had a very good, promising opening stand in the first game of about 78, I think it was. But after that, they've had a good few starts, but haven't quite converted them and pushed along. So Sloggers bench will be hoping that this is a time when it plays off. Ian Latine did it with the bat, needs to do it with the ball though. Going to bowl the 5th. I was on the money straight away, but confidently pushed down the ground for 1. It's an interesting one. I'd love to know what's going on inside Latine's head at the moment. He's done half the job, and he's now having to try and get the breakthrough with the ball. Well, this is struck nicely, and it's going to be 1 bounce 4. Lovely shot from Julian Ferroni. They need a couple more though to get up towards the run rate required, but that's a nice firm hit from Julian Ferroni, and that's 4. 2 full from Latine, and punished by the opening batsman in Julian Ferroni. This one almost sneaks through, but it will sneak through Latine, and it will be a single. Good running from Sloggers, yet again attentive and quick to pounce on a misfield. Well, that's another shorter, quicker delivery. Changing it up, Latine, not keeping it to the bog standard, and once more, he's proving to be a tricky customer when it's on the money. This full and swatted. Bodder long on. It's just a single. Good evening to Shrug, who joined us. Very good afternoon, good evening to you, Shrug. Hope you're all okay. Oh, and again, Freddie just checks himself. Looks as if he was going to be very early on it, but Gamila is going to cut it off, and that will be 2 to finish the over. And at the end of that 5th over, Sloggers are 27 for none then after 5, and at the halfway stage they're behind the run rate by quite a considerable amount. Very good evening though to everyone tuning in around the world. with me, you've joined myself, Charlie Hunt, here on the European Cricket Network for this second half of match 15 then, and the equation is pretty simple. 61 needed off this second half of the innings. They've only got 27 on the board at the moment, so they're going to need a few more. But it's certainly setting up to be another tight contest. Again, we could see a couple of big overs, and then it comes down to potentially the last over. I'm just asking, can you remind me as to if anybody's bowled a maiden? Someone has, however, you're really pushing my memories to see if I can remember who it was. Zachary Simpson, though, the Duracell bunny. And this is firmly hit down the ground, but Harry Pyle is once more there to cut that off. There was a maiden, and if I'm not wrong, I think it was Harshdeep Singh of the Entertainers. That is pushing my knowledge, though, and pushing my memory. Well, this has come off something. It might have come off the back of the bat, in fact. They come through for a run, and I'm just looking at the umpire. And there was bat on it, so that's been given as runs. Unconventional reverse sweep. Well, there you go. James Stewart's got the answer. It was by Singh. Gletio was right, but it felt a lot longer ago than just yesterday. That's the funny aspect of that.
Very good, Zach. Stop this. Very good.
I didn't make the connection. That is Singh. Singh's in the chat. There you go, having a bit of fun. Well bowled. There you go. Didn't make the connection. Apologies on my behalf. Down the ground, 6, and that could be out of here. Well, look out if you're in the tower. Richards is in the tower and he's under attack because that was a lovely shot from Julian Frenny. Little step down and the full delivery gets punished. And Richards, let us know that you're okay up there, because that hit the pole pretty much right next to you. Next delivery though. Well, this is high in the air, one too many possibly. And it's been put down. Oh, that's a simple catch, and that is this. Doesn't really get much easier than that. And well, Stephen Carey, what has happened here? It's high in the air. The ball possibly had some revs on it. It was a slicey shot, but goes for the crocodile approach and puts it down. Next delivery is just pushed and is just a single. So the over goes for 10, and they need another over like that just to try and get back into the frame of things, or even bigger than that really. 10 off it, and at the end of the 6th, 37 for none. But big drop then off Frony. This is the story. 10 off the over for Simpson, 9 for Latine. Again, the bowling has just been very tidy though, isn't it? Ramagi and most importantly, Samath Bodder with his return to bowling in a match situation. Latine's going to continue here then into his second over. Went for 9. Needs to keep this one quiet again. It's short. They don't really take a risk, but that is a superb shot. That is timing. That is pure excellence from Ferroni. He just pushed at it off the back foot, waited on it nicely, rocked back off the front foot to his back, and it races away, and that's 4. Good start to the over for Sloggers, just keeping themselves in with a slight shout here. Again short, and again just pushed offside this time. Will just be a single rotation of the strike. Ferroni moves on to 30 with that single. And Brian Zammit, who's usually the more destructive of the two, is just playing second fiddle at 12 off of 15 at this point. This is short, and Zammit, all he can do is just push it for another single. And this is a nice lofted shot. Advani is down at long off, and again it's just a single, and he's just being able to keep that strike rotating. Good evening to Jeffrey though, to Jeff from Grizzly Bear, of course, one of our partners here, one of the sponsors, and Good evening to you, Jeff. Hope you're all okay. Well, this is swept around the corner. That's going to race away. Don't even think the Duracell Bunny's going to get there, and he won't. That's 4 more. And again, just getting boundaries at the right time at the moment are these this opening pair for the Sloggers. That's now another boundary, 4 more. Of course, Jeff will most likely be at cards. I'm assuming he's going to be at cards. He's there last time we were there. I'm sure he'll be there for the ECL. That's, again, a big, big moment. Of course, just boundaries at the right time at the moment. That's the second one in the over. Last delivery then. Again, hit firmly, however, straight to Carey, who can get enough on this, and it's just a single. And 12 off that over means that they are now 49 for none then after the 7th. The news then coming in for the match coming up later this evening. That's, of course, the second of the double-header between these two. These two teams go at it again, of course. And well, news from the toss. Rugby CC are going to be bowling first, so back-to-back bowling stints then in the field, or stints in the field for those two. That's, of course, a big, big matchup coming up after this. That starts at 9:30 local time, so that's 50 minutes from here on in. It certainly looks as if, of course, it's going to be another close one, as these two are now 39 required off 18. Just need one big over with a couple of boundaries. Need at least 2 more in this one here. As Zachary Simpson continues, and this is just a single to start. And Zamet just hasn't been able to get going, has he? He's just had to play second fiddle, and he's done a good job of it, though. He's not lost his way and just got Ferroni back on strike, and that's all he needs to do. This is just clipped leg side. They won't take on the arm of Latin. This is hit firmly. However, there is a man on the boundary, and that's good work. Excellent bit of work out on the boundary. Looks as if that's Ali Nurse who's down at deep cover. Superb stop. That's again saving certainly 3. Down the ground this time, and again can't find the middle. And it's just proving to be a little bit difficult at the moment for Sloggers. They just can't get it out off the square at the moment. They're hitting a couple boundaries here and there, but it's not enough. And with just over 2 deliveries left, Zamet again is just struggling. And credit where credit's due. The bowling's been pretty tight and tidy. They haven't let much go, but it's the batting from Zamet, for example, has not been where he's set his standards at. It's below par of performance from him in this game. He'll be the first to admit it as well. Of course, can all change in a moment. This is again hit in front of square, and Nurse will just keep that for yet again another single. And that means that it's a simple equation. It's 33 runs required off the last 2 overs. And at the end of the 8th over, Sloggers are 55 for none. So this is the story then. This is where they need a big over. They had the 25 off the 9th in the last one. And well, a man who's under, or has been under some pressure, is Stephen Carey. Dropped that catch early on. And in the last couple of games or so, he's received a bit of tap from his opposing batsman. And well, it's now or never, isn't it? 33 off 12 for the Sloggers. It's got to be now. Anything less than, if they can get 15 runs here, it becomes a different game. Oh, that's beaten everything, and that's going to run away, and that'll be 4 leg byes. And that's a good start for the Sloggers, but not a good start for Rugby CC. And yet again, Stephen Carey under pressure early on in his innings, or in the over, I should say.
That's fine.
It's unlucky, though. It was a good delivery, just managed to beat everything. Got through everything as well. down the ground again. And that's again another single. Jeff just telling me that he's taken T10 to La Manga. I've heard, and I'm very much aware of the 2 teams you're taking on a tour down to La Manga next week. I won't be there, unfortunately. I'll be back in the UK at that point, but I know for a fact that you're going to have a lovely time, Jeff, and I'm hoping that you're going to thoroughly enjoy yourself. And that's an opportunity that goes down. It was a hard chance, though, for Zachary Simpson. It came at him very quickly off Zamet. But it's a chance that does go begging. But no, Jeff, I know that you're going to be off to La Manga with 2 teams on next weekend, and that is certainly, I know, they've got some stuff planned for you that's going to be very fun, so I know you're going to enjoy that. Do send my best for everyone when you see them. Stephen Carey, again, has kept it pretty tidy, apart from that leg buys of 4. Again, just can't find the middle of the bat, and it's just been the issue for Sloggers as this game looks as if they're going to come down to the last over. Still within with a shout, but just haven't been able to really kick on after providing themselves a start. Well, this is hit well, and that'll be 6. And all of a sudden, with one strike of the blade from Brian Zamet, brings himself back into the game, but also brings Sloggers back into the game. Of course, they need a couple more, though, but that certainly helps proceedings, as it's now 20 runs needed off 9 balls. Of course, Rugby CC just need to keep things tidy. They bowled well this time around. This time around the corner, but Zachary Simpson is there, and he keeps it to a minimum of a dot ball, and that's a good bit of fielding yet again. It's straight to him, and he's Mr. Reliable out in terms of ground fielding. So it comes down to the last 20 runs required for victory then for Sloggers, and of course 19 for a golden ball. I wonder if anyone's having a tingle. Not hearing anything from anyone, but you never know. A wicket, though, would change the game, you feel. A new batsman, and it becomes a lot harder. 68 for none after 9, though. 20 runs needed. Jeff, going to mix up with Fletcher and Mackett there. Going to have a nice time. I know you are. Do enjoy that. Of course, send my best for everyone as well. And it's a new bowler, and it's going to be John Matthews is going to bowl this 10th over. Anything can happen. Could be a redemption story for Zamet if he gets on strike, who's now 28 off 24, but for only 36 off 30. 20 runs needed then off the last over, and Matthews starts, and they're also going to get a bye for their troubles. No dot balls is what Sloggers need, but they need one, or they need a couple of boundaries, don't they? Need some boundaries, some quick lucky, just a lucky edge that runs away or something for the Sloggers. This is hit, leg side, and taken. And it's young Samath Bodda, who hasn't put a foot wrong out in the outfield. He bowled superbly with his first 2 overs, only conceding 4 off 2 overs. And then he takes the good catch out in the deep. And Brian Zamet goes, and well, you almost question as to whether or not that is the hope for the Sloggers that goes with him. He goes for 28, Sloggers now 69 for 1. See what that meant to Christopher Gomila, who's down at point. Jeff just asking me there, but I don't think I'm going to be at Khartoum, I'm afraid, Jeff. I don't think I'm going to be there this time around. Anyway. Mark Bakarese coming in at... Is that Mark? Yeah, that is Mark Bakarese coming in at number 3, and he's coming in and he's just going to have to swing from the hips.
I've been doing that all game.
He's just got to try and get anything on it. Ideally, bring Julian Throne back on strike. But maybe Mark Bakarese can pull something out of nothing here. 19 off 4. They need a maximum. It's got to be a maximum at some point. Shrug saying that Sloggers need to change their batting order, but those two have opened the batting almost every game, and they've been very consistent. It's just been the middle order that's failed a little bit, but that's irrelevant at this point. 19 off 4. And this is high off the bat, opportunity, and dropped. And it goes down, so that will be a single. Macarese gets a life, and Freone is on strike, and that's probably the worst of the worst situations for Rugby CC. Simple catch, but
Come on, 3 left. Come on, Johnny boy, 3 left.
oh, just out of nowhere puts it down, and that was a bit of a surprise to everyone. Oh, it's been given as a no ball, so free hit then. And it's gonna be, that's been dropped, of course, off the free hit, but it's importantly, it's a free hit, so the drop doesn't matter, and it's a dot ball, and that's what could have been a big twist in the tail. It's only a dot ball off the free hit, so minimum destruction. This is a full toss. That will be another no ball, so this time Pyle takes the catch, but it doesn't matter as it's another no ball and it's another free hit coming up, and all of a sudden this game could just be changing a boundary and it becomes a different game then. And Mark Macarese, well, he could really make a name for himself here with a maximum. It's got to be now. Got to be now, doesn't it? It has to. It's now or never, really. It's a super delivery. Well, it's a net, and you can see there that umpire for Matthews thought that he got a wicket as well, but of course it was a free hit, so they come through and it's a leg bye. And unless anything changes, it was as plumb as it gets, of course, was off the free hit though. Well, that will most likely be all she wrote, as that's now 14 off of 2. Of course, if it's a no ball, then something changes here. It's a dead ball. Hawkins, I think, wasn't quite ready, was the wicket keeper, but if it's a legal delivery, then it doesn't really matter. Just needs to be a legal one. And it's a very good legal one. He gets the wicket, and that will be all she wrote almost, as it's now 14 off the last ball required. But for any goes, just wasn't enough, and it's a disappointing walk back to the pavilion. And the Sloggers look as if they're going to fall just ever so short of the total. And Ferroni goes, and it's now 74 for 2 with a single delivery left in the game. That is going to be a disappointing start to the evening for Sloggers. They probably would have felt as if they got up to the task, but unfortunately it's just going to fall short for them here in match 15. Covered with Putty then coming in at number 4.
Come on, John.
Well, he's just going to be interesting to see what he does here. It's 14 off 1. There just needs to be a legal delivery from Matthews, nothing crazy. And it will be, but it will be a nice shot from midfield. I don't think it's going to go all the way. Zachary Simpson will come round and cut it off, and it will mean that the Sloggers have been defeated here. Rugby CC are the winners of match 15, and they are going to be very, very happy with that as it extends their stay at second in the table. With that, it extends the gap between themselves and the Sloggers in third place. It was a good competition, pretty evenly matched between these two teams. Rugby CC, they'll be happy as they are your winners then of match 15. We take a look at the highlights of the second innings here, and it was just a little bit too late for Sloggers, wasn't it? And just wasn't really able to get going. There was a flourish of boundaries at some point, and it was just not at the right times. There were some lovely shots though, it has to be said, from the Sloggers batsmen. Zamet and Ferroni have been ever present at the top of the order for Sloggers. It's just not come off of them here. This was a drop catch. It was a simple catch, but almost had too much time, did Carey. Of course, he would come back and have the last laugh with the over from him, but there were some nice shots. There were a total of 7 boundaries off the bat this innings. These are all of them. That was a nice shot round the corner from Zamet, and And this was, of course, Carey. This was wasn't off the bat. It was given his leg byes, but it was unlucky for Carey. It was an unlucky start for him, but he won't mind that because he ended up keeping it relatively quiet after that. Only went for 9 off the over. And again, there was a flourish of boundaries. That was the one of 2 sixes in the innings from the Sloggers. One for Zammit, one for Oni, but he was caught on the boundary. Good catch from Samath Bodda. It was a simple catch, but you still have to do the hard work, and he was able to do so. And that was a lovely catch, though, in the end to remove the dangerous Zammit. And after that wicket fell in that last over, it was almost a little too late for the Sloggers. Bakarese was given a life, and then that was a free hit, and then this was a no ball, and this time he took the catch off the free hit. It was another no ball, and then this one was given out, but it was obviously on a free hit, so he only came through, and it meant that at the end of the day that was another wicket to go. And then Midfooty trying to get a little bit inventive towards the end, but he wasn't able to do so. And Rugby CC, they have defeated the Sloggers by 12 runs here. Don't forget, these 2 teams, though, will go at it once again, and that's coming up in 35 minutes or so, so do stick around for that. Or do go ahead and get yourself a bit of a snack and a drink and return for that, as it's set to be another tight contest. Certainly looking forward to that then. Do come back for that in 30 minutes or so as you're watching FanCode European Cricket T10 in Gibraltar here with myself, Charlie Hunt, on the European Cricket Network. Good evening, welcome then to the final match of this evening's play. Rugby CC taking on the Sloggers once again. You join me, Charlie Hunter, here for match 16 of the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar. We can go to tournament referee, who's out in the middle with the two captains for the all-important coin toss.
Sloggers to call.
Heads.
Heads is the call. It's tails.
Wheel field.
Okay. Good luck,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
All the best. Cheers, guys. So Rugby have won the toss and they're having a bowl. All back to you, Charlie, in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Stefan. And, well, that's the news from the toss then. Rugby going to have a field then here in match 16, taking a look at the lineups then. And, of course, we've seen everyone already before. Wouldn't really be surprised to see many new additions coming in to each squad now towards the halfway stage of this tournament. But, of course, at the top of the order, we're normally used to seeing Julian Ferrone and Brian Zammit. But from what I'm seeing, it looks as if we're going to have a change at the top, and no real surprise after a pretty poor performance last time around. And there's a change then. Rugby CC are being pipped to the top. 104 is an expected score, and 99 is the expected score for Sloggers. So this time, Supercomputer changing its mind and going for Rugby CC. Good evening, though, to everyone tuning in around the world. And a very good evening to everyone tuning in on FanCode and on YouTube, as we're almost ready to get things underway then here in this second evening, or the second match of the evening, I should say. My last game on call for a while. This is going to be a fun one to get us underway. Certainly looking forward to seeing this one, though. As Richie Cunningham's in the chat. How are you, Richard? Always nice to see you in here. Nice. Missing you here today, though. Of course, Cunningham playing for the Pirates, but also he's well, I've given him the role of groundsman. He's always here. He's helping out. He was here in the rain. He was here in the wind. He's been excellent as Cunningham, but he's obviously taking the night off, and rightly so. And we're just waiting for that time to click over towards that half-an-hour mark, and then we can get this game underway. Before we do, though, Luke Belgium's asking about that rained-off game. We are going to be rescheduling that postponement. That's postponed match 10, of course, between Entertainers and Sloggers, so that will be rearranged. And any information that we will get, we will of course give to you guys here on broadcast, but also on our website and on our socials. So do look out for that, as we'll be receiving confirmation for that as soon as possible. You can see though it's a little bit chilly out there, and it's not getting any warmer. And this is of course the last game of tonight's play, for anyone wondering. Double headers every night. There'll be one night where we get a third game in due to that postponement that we were just talking about. But it's been a pleasure to call the games here for the first week in Gibraltar. Sad that it's coming to an end, but hopefully we've got a good last game to get us underway. Thomas Ramagi then here in match number 16. And he's on the money straight away. And Bakadese just dead bats it and meets it with the full face. Match 16 between these two teams there. The match 16 in the tournament. Plenty more to go, of course. Oh, this is a shorter delivery, a wider delivery, all still within the legal limits, of course, but Bakadese missing out. And that's, of course, a dot ball. And this is lofted over the top, and he stands and delivery. He's not going to run. Save your legs, because it's going to race away. And Ali Nurse was giving chase, but he couldn't quite cut it off, and that'll be the first boundary and the first runs then for the Sloggers. And that's gone all the way to the boundary. 4 more. Good start for Mark Bakadese then. This time around. Struggled, of course, Kevin coming in at number 3 in that last game in a chase that was just coming towards its end, the last stage of it. Of course, he's got a half century to his name. He scored a half century last time around, so he's a more than capable batsman. Here's Bakadese. That was half century was last year, 2022. Scored a 53. 54 not out in a game. He had a good average of 51. Only had 5 matches, or so 5 innings, of course. Scored 153 in runs in total. And he's joined by no other than Jawad Bokhari at the top of the order. Going to be sent in just to have a swing. He's dancing. And he's pulled this. It's been called a no ball. So they'll come through, and it'll be a single off the no ball. And it'll be an early free hit. Early loose delivery from Thomas Ramage. Above the waist, and rightly so. Good call by the umpire, Sebastian Maynard. And well, he's joined by, get onto that one just after this one. Thomas Ramage though, full toss, and this is a lofted shot down the ground. Hasn't quite followed through with it. Checks it, and it will just be a single. And of course, Steve Mumford is alongside Sebastian Maynard. And then down as third umpire is Meda Daub, who's, of course, very familiar with European cricket now because he's a project manager, but she's also the third umpire for this game then. And then that's going to be a single to end an interesting first over. Of course, got the boundary off it, did Bakadeze. And at the end of the first over, Sloggers 9 for none. And 75 matches now then, that's confirmation. It looks as if we could have got a tight one coming towards the latter stages of match 15. But wasn't meant to be, of course. Rugby CC taking that victory and extending that gap in the table then. But 75 matches without a golden ball now. Only time will tell us how long that's going to be. But again, I do feel that we should and most likely will get one in Gibraltar. You play enough games in one location, you feel as if it's going to happen. Well, away from that though, Samath Bonner's going to take the second over, and he had a sensational 2-over spell in the last game. He only went for 4 runs. He'll be hoping to try and recreate, then possibly pick up a wicket this time though. And it's on the almost similar line straight away. It starts off with a very well executed dot ball. And this time it's forward. Samath Bonner unable to quite get a hand on that, but they will come through for that single. And again, you do feel that the likes of Bakadeze alongside Zammit and Faroni, then those are the real 3 run makers in this side. Of course, anyone can come off in their own day. You can hit a couple boundaries, but you do feel that for a consistent amount of runs that those 3 are the names to look for. And this one is just met with a full face once more. And again, just clipped. And it is another dot ball. And like, just giving himself a bit of time. Of course, 10 overs isn't a long amount of time, but it's still enough time to give yourself a couple of deliveries to get your eye in. And of course, got that first boundary early on, but he's just giving himself a bit of time to see the ball. And this is just chipped up in the air. Doesn't follow through again. He's a little bit early on it. Just stopped himself from following through. Otherwise, it would have just gone right up in the air, and it's just a single. And this is hit down the ground. It's over Advani at mid-off. Don't think it's going to go all the way. Ian Latine comes round from long on and manages to put the brakes on and stops it. Prevents it from going over the boundary. And it will be another tidy over yet again. Just 4 off it. And after 2, Sloggers are 13 for none. This is the updated table then. Here after that game this evening, that first one. Sloggers staying on 4 points, but Rugby CC extending that gap to 8 or to 4 points either side. Of course, they're now 4 behind Pirates, but it means they're 4 ahead of Sloggers. So they will, of course, be feeling a bit confident going into this game and knowing that a victory here keeps them up with the Pirates with just a 2-point gap. Ramagi straight in, back into the attack, and this is going to be a leg side wide. And they'll also run a single as well. Of course, extras have played a very vital part and a crucial part in the tournament though thus far. Good evening to Mike Seal though, jumping in a little bit late, but it's all good. Better late than never, as I always say. And this one, leg side. And that one will just be another single. And this is too wide, and this is punished from Bakadeze, and that's going to run away. That'll be 4 more. And in similar fashion to Ian Latine. He gives himself time, but if he's given a loose delivery, he will pounce on it. And that's a lovely way to add some more runs, 4 more. Needs a response, does Ramagi. He's been given a bit of treatment. And he's right back on the money as it's a fuller delivery outside the off stump in that corridor of uncertainty. And that one again. Well, Watkins has taken one and he looks like he's in a bit of pain. Well, it's direct hit from Zachary Simpson. We're going to take a look upstairs, but Watkins has taken a bit of damage there and he's not looking very comfortable. We will take a look upstairs though for a potential run out here. Of course, safety is the first priority, but that one's a sore and it's right on the end and that one's hurt straight away. It was an initial reaction, wasn't it? But we're going to take a look here as the run out is close and it could be a potential one. Watkins wasn't in the frame. As long as... Oh, that's going to be a tricky one because... as we're going to have to see this one again. Yeah. I think the initial reaction is not out, as it doesn't look as if there's going to be any evidence to overshow. We'll take a look one more time there. And it jumps up there, and then it's not given, not out. We go back to live action and goes into for a single leg side. Of course, not really much you can do with that due to it being a little bit tight. This was that last delivery, just hit from Bakari leg side. Oh, this could be a good shout, and he's gone. And I think Bakarizi knew it as soon as he missed the ball and it clattered into his back pad. Went back to a delivery that wasn't really back of a length, it was fuller. And it was on the money from Ramagi, and it's the first wicket falls, and it's the dangerous Bakarizi. I think he knew straight away. And he goes, and the Sloggers are 23 for 1. Oh, Mike Seal saying he's got his feet up, that's always good then. Still no Zammit and still no Frione, which is an interesting call. It's Midpudi is the man coming out to the middle then, coming in at number 3. So Midpudi then coming in. You could see Watkins is okay as well. He's going to continue. Of course, it's always the pain of taking a wicket keeper. Oh dear, this is down the leg side. It's missed everything. And there will be a wide and also another run. Midpudi goes out and joins Bakari, who's 7 off 7 at the moment. Ramagi looking to finish off his spell then. And it won't be this time. This time it is taken though, so it's just the one wide. Watkins back to his usual standards. He's been very tidy behind the stumps, as Watkins. And Ramagi will get a breakthrough to finish the over, and it's also to finish the spell. He finishes with 2 for 22, and it's the second wicket. Jamal Bacardi goes, And it was a wild swing at a full straight delivery. And that means at the end of the third, Sloggers are 26 for 2. So that now means that Frione will be the next batsman to come out to the middle. Of course, that's the end of the power play. And that's the story so far. 2 wickets falling in that third over from Thomas Ramage. Finishes with 2 for 22. He'll be happy to have taken 2 wickets with him. It adds to his collection as well. He's picked up a few scalps in this tournament so far. He's on 6 before today, so of course that means he's now moved on to at least 8. So he's bowling very well, but of course he is bowled out, and it means that it's the end of the power play. Mid-putty out in the middle then with Julian Ferroni, both yet to face a legal delivery. Kerry, that is the new bowler. But he cuts away straight to Thomas Ramage. Looks at the short third man, and it will just be yet again a single. Ding dong, so I hope they can get to 90 to make it competitive. Well, we had a competitive game last time around, and that was less than 90, so it's, again, well, even Stevens, really, in terms of skill and ability in each team. Jeff saying as well, looks like a very good man. It is. It's a very nice stadium, I have to be said. It's not spoken about it enough, I'd say, really. My fault, of course. Europa Point Stadium, beautiful place to play cricket. Short, and uppish in the air, giving chances. That was Ferroni's first delivery. And he almost was making the walk all the way back to the pavilion, but it fell safely, only just though. No, it's superb, the facilities here. Of course, the ability to play night cricket. Of course, we lost that ability yesterday due to a power cut, but it's splendid. It really is a lovely way and lovely place and a superb location. And this one almost just turning away and squares him up completely. You can see it just completely does him all ends up, and it just seems as if they're possibly playing within himself here. It doesn't seem to be playing with as much fluidity as we've seen him in the last couple of games, possibly just due to the situation. This time it will be off the pads again. However, it spatters leg side and it will be a run. Of course, no Somath Potter again. He only gets the 1 over, that second over. No, I understand that as well, just to hold him back. You never know, could also pick up a wicket if he tries. Well, not that he isn't trying, but certainly is a possibility. Now this time, leg side. Once more, Zachary Simpson does the work. And they come through for yet again just a single.
Hi, Steve, keep going, Steve. Come on, Steve, boy.
Carey, there's been a pretty tidy over, just 3 off it with the last delivery then. It won't be. Classic commentator's curse. It's down the leg side, and that's a wide. Good take though from Watkins this time. Spectators are allowed in, they are certainly. Free entry as well, I believe. And we've had a few at some points throughout the last week. Some quiet nights due to the weather, no surprise. And that will be the end of the over then. Only goes for 4, and a good first over for Stephen Carey. And again, Sloggers are being kept quiet. 31 for 2 after 4.
Sam.
This is, again, crucial times then in these games, just coming out of the power play. That first over only going for 4. They will need to try and push on a little bit. Of course, no Brian Zammit yet. Julian Ferroni is can seriously hit a long ball, as can Zammit. And Midputty is also capable as well. New bowler looks as if it's going to be the leg spin of Ian Latine. And he'll be thinking, oh, just get me back out there batting. He must be loving life at the moment. Can't really seem to put a foot wrong. This is a 4th half century at the moment. He'd be looking for more, that's for certain. He's also going to be hoping to pick up a few wickets as well. And here is Latine then for his first over. He's on the money straight away. Julian Ferroni, all he can do. Well, that's what he wanted to do, but he took the more sensible option and just fended it back with that respectable full face of the bat. And advances and hit. Struck firmly. However, Stephen Carey at extra cover. We'll stop it, and it's just yet again another single. Gets funky and it misses everything. Putty and Ian Latine wasn't most impressed with that shot. He wasn't happy with that one. I think that it's been given as buys, and understandably so due to the change of profile. Oh, and that's again super bowling. Chucks it in and darts it in nice and full. Saw him coming pretty early on. And Latine again is just proving to be a crucial element in this rugby CC team. Of course, took one on the face. You can see it there, just that mark above his left eye. Zammit there, you can see in the background as well. He's probably going to be coming in next at number 5. Well, this is a full toss and hit well. It will take some cutting off. Harry Parr will come round, and he's almost run past it. And he gets a smile on his face as well. And it will be a no-ball free hit then coming up next. But it's going to be 2 more as well. Advanced down the track, and it was darted. It was the quicker one from the team, but it came out a bit wrong. Oh, Watkins wasn't impressed, but it certainly was above the height, even if he stood his ground. Almost running past it. He found the funny side in there. Free hit, though. Midputty on strike. Gone for around the corner and hit well, and that's 4. Premeditated, but it's still a lovely shot. And he was able to get a bit of bat on it just to help it round the corner, and it evades Zachary Simpson, and it's a nice way to end the over. And that's now 5 overs down, and the Sloggers, and it won't be 5 overs down because there's still a delivery left, in fact, but a good shot though. Brings up the 41 on the board then with a delivery left then in the 5th. Struck firmly off the boot of Latine, and Midputty keeps the strike. It'll be a single, and at the end of the 5th, Sloggers are 42 for 2 then. And take a look at the replay here off the boot. Gets a foot on it. Pushes it for a single. But I will take this opportunity just to say a huge thank you to everyone for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you the coverage over the last week or so. I've loved every moment of it, even though it's been a bit chilly, but sometimes you can't complain. But it's been absolutely wonderful. Cricket's been superb as well, and it's been some nice, tight matches, which is all you can ask for, really. So, again, a huge thanks to everyone for tuning in. A huge thanks to all of the viewers and moderators for their work in the chat, and for everyone tuning in and getting involved in the community that we're growing here. It's a splendid thing that's been built over the last couple of years here on the European Cricket Network, and it's a pleasure to be a part of it. Stephen Carey is going to continue here then. And that's with it. It's not. That's called a wide. Take a look at this one then. It was a bit of a away swing, right? Late away swing, and probably rightfully called a wide as well. I thought he got away with it though. This is short, pulled nicely, and that's going to win the race again, and it's 4 more. And again, it's just too short from Stephen Carey. Too short, and Midputty's just going to help it along its way. And it's a nice way to be rewarded after a bit of patience from Midputty, and he gets a couple of loose deliveries, and he's pounced on them. 4 more. Oh, this is off the pad this time.
Very good, Steve. Steve, why not you? Come on, Stevie.
And back on the money from Carey.
Very good.
That's a good bit of bowling right back on the money.
Okay. Wait.
This one finds the outside edge. It's right in the block hole. And this time they'll come through for a single. Been a good over though from Carey, really. Needs to just continue here. That one isn't exactly what I was thinking of when I mentioned that. It's a wide.
Come on, let's go, come on. Come on, skate.
This time it's down the leg side. And Carey just can't get through this last over. He's just struggling to get out of it. And
Of course,
had that boundary, but apart from the last two wides, it's been pretty tidy. Carey just needs to find his way out of this one.
Okay.
This time just pushed, and it's finally a legal delivery, and it's just a single yet again. Of course, mostly dealing in singles at the moment. Not really been anything crazy. We've only had 4 boundaries in this innings so far, and we're already coming towards the end of the 6th. Sloggers, though, 52 on the board, looking to try and get a move on. Again, it's just been a matter of possibly just a bit slow from the Sloggers, really, you'd argue. But when you're getting free deliveries and free runs like that, it's doesn't really mean you have to take on many risks. But it's another wide. This over's gone for 12 at the moment, and there's only been 6 runs off the bat. And that just has been the difference, really, in some games, has been the extras. Well, this is swatted down the ground again, not really middled. Mid-putty loses his shape a little bit, but he will get a single. And at the end of the 6th, Sloggers are 55 for 2. Of course, Watkins keeping and is the skipper. Well, this is the story so far. Just 1 over for Samath Bodder at the moment, being held back potentially for those overs in the death. T10 looks as if he's going to continue here, though, after his first over. He, of course, went for 10. Of course, is a talented player. He'll be trying to pick up a wicket, though. Putty down the ground, struck firmly, but straight to Stephen Carey. Extra cover, good work. Takes it on the leg and just gets his body behind it. That's sometimes all you really need to do. It's effective. Might not be the best, but it's always effective. And this is struck down the ground opportunity. And this time it's put down. Samath Bodder puts down a pretty simple catch, and they come back for the second as well. And Bodder took a pretty simple catch in the last game, but this time around he wasn't able to take it as well as he did, and he just bounces out, really. And a simple catch goes. Early life then for Julian Frioni. And this one is a superb delivery yet again from the team. Back on the money, and a sign of appreciation, I think, from Frioni. Says, well, that was just too good for me. The team's only taken 1 wicket this tournament, but his runs are making up for that, of course. His average now has unfortunately fallen to 84, which, of course, you know, is a little bit poor, really. You know, it was at 96 at the start of the day, now it's fallen to 84. A bit disappointing, really, but, you know, such is life for Ian Latine. Oh, and swept. Swept well, and didn't seem as if he was going to be able to get anything on it, but it's eventually actually really good work from Ali Nurse to come around and cut it off. Oh, well, there you go, the man himself. Rico Fool's in the chat. He's just landed in Malaga, make that little hour-and-a-half journey down to Gibraltar. Oh, and this is swept and missed out. No appeal due to how far down the pitch he is, but just, again, good delivery though. Possibly could have just kept his, held his ground, good mid-putty, and possibly gone back to it. But it's a dot ball nonetheless, and dot balls are gold dust. Well, this is a full toss, and it's been called a no ball. And that does mean it's going to be another free hit for only C here. It was dipping, and it was even still. At that point, it was going to be a no ball wherever he was. Free hit then. Opportunity for Frioni. Struck firmly leg side, that's 4. And that's what they need. They need a couple more of those, do the Sloggers. They're trying to just find some way of accelerating along here. They've just been going at a bit of a constant below par pace, but that certainly helps proceedings. Nice way to end the over as well. And at the end of the 7th over, Sloggers 66 for 2. And it's now, of course, Rico Philp taking over from tomorrow. I know Rico's very, very excited to get back into the swing of things here. He's been keeping an eye on proceedings here in Gibraltar, and I know I'm leaving it in more than capable hands. So good to see. I know that Rico will be very excited to get back to work tomorrow. And I certainly will be listening whilst in the car on the way home. Zachary Simpson is the new bowler, then the Duracell Bunny. And well, I do hope Rico remembers that. I hope Rico, if you're still listening, remember that Zachary Simpson's the Duracell Bunny. See if that's my lasting image left on Gibraltar. This time, will just be played into that leg side. It's a good start there from Simpson on the money straight away. Jeff asking the question though, is it hard to cross over from Malaga time-wise? From Malaga, it's probably about an hour-and-a-half drive to get to the Gibraltar border, and then if you're driving through the border, it depends on what time of day you arrive. It might take you 5 minutes, it might take you possibly a couple of hours, but that's just depending on what time of day you go. And Mike's saying with some nice words. Very kind of you, Mike. And that's a superb bit of bowling. We're going to take a look upstairs, but my initial reaction, I think Frioni's gone. Again, really good work from Watkins. He's been splendid behind the stumps all tournament, and Zachary Simpson saw Frioni coming, pushed it a little bit wider, and I think he's got his man. We'll take a look upstairs, though. Yeah, he's gone by a mile. It's going to be the next frame that tells us, and he's gone by a fair distance. And it's a good wicket, big wicket of Julian Frioni. He goes. Zachary Simpson, 1 for 1 in his first over already. Superb bit of bowling, keeps it within the legal width as well. And the second wicket will mean that that's fallen. The third wicket's gone now, and it's 68 for 3. There's just a pause here. Might want to take a look at it again.
Guys, back on the sack.
See here, and I think he has been given his marching orders. Yeah, that's enough evidence, I think, and rightly so. So Frioni will go. He goes. It's confirmation. Then 68 for 3, and Brian Zammit comes out, and well, I think he's just going to swing for the hills here. Wouldn't surprise to see him take 1 or 2 and then really go. it's a good appeal. If you don't ask, you don't get. But that was, I think that would have been missing 6th or 7th stump. Possibly 8th, but good start though. Mike Seal just saying, not the width matters, you can start to wide. I just meant that it wasn't an extra more than anything. That was what I was more getting at. But you're not wrong though, Mike. I'm definitely correct. But I was just saying it wasn't a wide conceded off it. Oh, and that one again. Zamet's come out and he is just trying to go at everything, and understandably so. It's in the slot and he misses out. Again, good bit of keeping. No, totally right though, Mike, of course. Well, this time it's slot and hit hard. 6. Good shot from Zamet. Good way to get off the mark. 3rd time of asking, and he was able to provide the goods. It's again a 2 full from Zachary Simpson. Bit of slot bowling after a good couple of deliveries. This time it's 2 full, and Zamet gets in on the action and starts with a 6. And gets him. And Zachary Simpson gets the last laugh. And Brian Zamet trying to go for 1 too many. And that means that he is all wrapped up from the Duracell bunny, Zachary Simpson. He's off and running. And he picks up 2 in the over. He's a happy bunny. And at the end of the 8th over, Sloggers are 74 for 4. They've had a couple of decent overs, but they just haven't really been able to kick on. They're going at just over 9. So they're in a bit of a better position than what they were last time around, but they are just needing to try and get on to something a little bit more, as it looks as if Samath Bodder's going to come back after only conceding 4 runs off his first over. That over that he last bowled was .1.12, so he's a very talented bowler. Of course, is nursing an injury, so do keep that in mind, that he's not quite at full strength. Being used more as a batsman, coming in at most likely number 3, but of course it didn't quite come off for him with the bat last time around. However, this time he's said, yeah, go on, I'll have a bolt, see what I can do. He started well and he gone for 4, but he's coming back then, and he's going to come back then for this 9th over. And this is just deathly cut down for just 1. James saying bittersweet, bitter for Charlie. Well, sweet for your return. It certainly is. I'm looking forward to hearing Rico again. It's been a while, and I know he's excited, so he'll be thrilled to be back tomorrow. Oh, this one just sneaks through, and it also, well, Watkins has been in the wars a little bit. I think he's got one on the knee. Just misses the pad that he's wearing, and you can see there, I think he might see the funny side in it as well. He's just having one of those evenings. As the new batsman, Turner Bone, just misses out there and just rocks into the knee. He's okay, though. Gary Turner Bone, though. Of course. And they put it on strike. This is clipped and clipped nicely. Chases on for the fielder, and he goes for the foot. Ali Nurse, and it'll be another 2. Mike Seal asking a question. Where's he? He's in London, in Wembley. That's where I am. That's where I'm off on Sunday. And this time is just again pushed offside. Yeah, off to Wembley again, and then there for a while, and then well, I'm there for a week, and then I'm off to South Africa for a couple of weeks, which is going to be lovely. Never been to South Africa as well, so that's going to be fun. If anyone's got any recommendations on where to go, get them in the chat. I'll always take some on board. Oh, and this one almost chops on, stays low and gets the bottom edge on it. But it's, again, a super bit of bowling this is from Samath Bodder. It just stays low, and Turner Bone does well not to chop it onto his own stumps. But it's a dot ball nonetheless. Wild swing, and he's taken another one on it, and that one hurts. That's very painful. He's not happy, and he joked about it earlier that he's in the wars, but at the moment he is really struggling. And there's a wiki myself. I know the pain that he's in there. Of course, it would have been a stumping, but he's again taking one on that finger. Anyway, it's the end of the over. 9th over down. 77 for 4 on the board, I believe. And Mike just saying Cape Town. I'm going to Cape Town, not no Joburg, just Cape Town. Looking forward to it though. And well, I'd be surprised to see anyone else come on to bowl apart from Zachary Simpson after bowling a 2 for 7 over off his first. But he is going to get this one now. James is forever the jokester, saying the student life, Gibraltar, class, South Africa. I remember it well. Hang on, that was nothing like it was for me. I'm very lucky, very privileged to be in the position I am, and I'm very, very lucky. Zachary Simpson. Well, Watkins is not pretty keen on this. We will just check just in case. Zachary Simpson was pretty keen, but his view wasn't as good. You see here, and I think there's enough behind the line. It's my initial reaction anyway. You see. Just taking a look here just to make sure, just for confirmation. I think there's enough behind the line. Yeah, we're going to want one more look at this, I think. I just want... not out, so we move on. And again, almost trickling under that bat of Gary Turner-Bone. Yet to get off the mark, but Simpson's bowling very well. No surprise to see a change in the field if someone comes into that leg side. That's exactly where Turner-Bone goes, and that, well, there you go. Leg side for just a single. Good evening to Heinrich. He's jumped in the chat. How are you? Very good to hear from you. Haven't heard from you in a while. Of course, Heinrich plays for Malta and in Malta as well. Hope you're okay, mate. Always nice to hear from you. Of course, many people will be aware of yourself, and I hope you're okay. We had a nice holiday and New Year. Of course, we'll be over to Malta in a couple of weeks, of course. That's certainly looking forward to paying attention to that one. And, well, I think this might be another one. Watkins hobbles and thinks he's got it, but I think he's also got him as well, and it looks as if it's going to be another one. It's another dismissal. And no question about it, that one's an easier one. And mid-put he goes. He goes for 22 off of 20 deliveries. And at the end of that delivery, it's the 5th one to go. Sloggers are 81 for 5. Flight gets him, doesn't it? Plays all round it, really, and misses out. And he has to go. Simpson picks up his 3rd. Mid-putty is not a happy chap. New batsman makes his way out to the middle then, and they've got to try and just find something, haven't they? Last 2 deliveries of the innings coming up, as Emerson Rovegno is the new batsman even. He's only got 2 deliveries left, and they'll be trying to get up towards 85 potentially, just to try and get as many runs on the board. Zachary Simpson then. Oh, this one could be close. Turned down. They're going to take on a run as well. This one was a very good ask. We take a look at it again here. Impact's in line again, possibly umpire's call. But it's given not out on the field, so he survives. Last ball then. And he almost onto his own stumps. It'll be a dot ball to finish. And Sloggers will finish their turnovers on 82 for 5. Excellent bit of bowling at the death from Zachary Simpson. He's very, very crucial to Rugby CC's success at the moment. And again, well, Sloggers, they come off 82 for 5 after their 10 overs. Possibly, again, they may feel that they're possibly under par. We take a look at the highlights then of the first innings of this match 16. Well, I was getting happy. It was boogie all night long here on Fridays. Andrews is going to get in the net later on, but it started with some cricket, and there were some nice shots onto the offside. There were some nice shots all round. And then this one was one of the few that Watkins copped on the hand and on the knee, and he just couldn't get it going. And then Bakadeze at the top was trapped in front by Thomas Ramagi, and that was again the start of it all. And then he also got the other opener in Bakari as well. And then there was a few no balls, few extras. In fact, the total extras were 23 once more. So you take away the extras and all of a sudden it's a very below par total. However, looking at this though, and there were just matters of opportunities, and they were taken mostly by the batsman. Of course, Veroni got an opportunity, he was dropped. And he only went on to make 12 from his innings. That was a nice shot though, leg side, but again, he ended up being stumped off the bowling. Zachary Simpson, it was a great delivery, and he also was able to keep it within a wide, so there's no extra off the delivery, and he also got the stumping. So it was a very, very content Zachary Simpson. He bowled very well. Zammit came out and tried to go straight away, and he did. He managed to get a 6. However, after that, he was bowled, and it was Zachary Simpson's second scalper of the innings. And of course, Simpson would go on to take one more in that last over. But the Duracell bunny was a happy bunny, wasn't he? He was a happy chap, and rightfully so as well, because he got mid-putty straight up after. Mid-putty went, and again, he was the top scorer with 22 off of 20. That meant that Sloggers finished on 82 for 5, setting 83 for victory here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back as the Rugby CC have been set 86 for victory. We return in about 10 minutes or so, as you're watching the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar. Good evening, welcome back to the Europa Point Stadium for the final innings of this evening's play. It's the second innings of match 16, and Rugby CC have been set 83 for victory, so that's a revised total. There's a couple of issues that were refined, and then they were confirmed. 83 for victory then for Rugby CC here in match 16, opening partnership of... Well, it's a change at the top as well. Noe and Latine, interesting move. Christopher Watkins alongside Nikhil Advani. And he's probably just been sent at the top to just have a swing, and rightly so as well. As we're ready, almost ready to get underway for this innings then. It's a big innings, it's a big opportunity for Sloggers here to take some points. And if Rugby CC take 2 more points here, they really do emphasise that gap between second and third, and it really is a big moment here for Rugby CC. It's a big opportunity. And James's point. It's my last innings. It is. It's in my face. It's my last one. My last one here in Gibraltar. Lovely. It's been such a good week. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't realise how much I missed being on the airwaves, but it's been a great time. And again, it's all thanks to everyone in the chat and everyone here at the ground, everyone being so supportive. It's always a great time whenever on the airways here on the ECN. It's been a fun time. But all good things must come to an end. Only a temporary end, though. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully. Just waiting for that clock to tick over. We're ready to get underway then. Bakari here. And this is off the pad. It's going to run away. And it'll be interesting to see what this is given. It's given as leg buys. 4 leg buys to start. And, well, if they keep on going at this rate, this game's going to be over pretty quick. Good start, though. And it's off the leg of Watkins. Not even Bakadaisy could get anything on that one to stop it from flying through. Would have been a very good take though from Mark Bakadaisy if he'd done so, but it was out of his reach. Oh, this time it's on the money, and this is a chance taken. And Watkins goes without scoring a run. He goes for none. And it was a nothing shot, really. It was a late swing, though, from Bakari, which took it away from Watkins. It was a drivable ball, but then right at the last minute, there was a heap of away swing. And it meant that it was a pretty simple catch in the end. And the first wicket goes, and Rugby CC are 4 for 1. Out goes Watkins, and in comes the most dangerous player in the entire tournament at the moment, Ian Latine. He's got an average of 83, and he just can't stop making runs, of course. It would be classic commentator's curse for him to come out and get an absolute golden duck, but hopefully, and of course for entertainment purposes, hopefully it's not the case. However, in entertainment's purpose, if we get the wicket there, then it's a big wicket, and it would mean that there's a lot of questions being asked about Rugby CC. So Latine coming in at number 3, possibly just trying to give someone else a chance at the top. And well, he's in after just 2 legal deliveries, so it's almost as if he was never anywhere else. He's facing up then. And this is just confidently pushed for a single off the mark straight away. Varney yet to face a delivery either. Just watched a 4 go by and then also watched his partner get out. But of course, Mr. Cricket himself being raised to the top of the order. Given an opportunity, hopefully, for a Rugby CC fan. And Varney cashes in. Well, Bakari's pretty keen, but I think height was saving him. Take a look then here, the replay. Yeah, height really was the issue for Bakari. Good shout though, a good start on the money straight away. Certainly rising to go above the stumps, but again, on the money straight away. This is over the top, and it just gets through. It just gets through the hands of Baglietto, and it's 2 more. A drop catch, but luckily so he got a bit of hand of it, because otherwise it could have run away. But again, Bakari's on the money straight away. And so much just saying that the team gets out early, then maybe the game could be over. Or it's a potential. It's a very serious potential if he gets out early. That questions will definitely be asked. And that will be the end of the over. Dot ball to finish then, and it's well, it's a good one for Bakari. Apart from that leg bye, which doesn't go against him, and it goes into extra. So he only concedes 3, and at the end of the first, Rugby CC 7 for 1. 75 matches now without a golden ball. Of course, we've had a couple of close calls. I've certainly got a tingle here and there at some point, but it's just not paid off. And of course, we're now 75 matches without a golden ball. And that, well, unless we get one today, that will of course go into tomorrow. And you never know, Rico might just come in and just take one just off the cuff, just because he can, because it's Rico. It looks as if it's going to be Kabir Midpuri coming into the attack. And Latine comes down the track and hits it straight to them. It looks as if that's Farioni. And it starts with the dot ball. And this one almost sneaks through, but Latine does well to get a bit of bat on it, and they come through for one. And again, Latine will give himself a bit of time. He always does. He knows that he can accelerate and take on the bowlers later on in the innings. That's exactly what he always goes and does, or goes and tries to do anyway. And this one almost sneaking through. Advani gets to it late, but manages to get that bat down just in time. But still a very good start from Midpuri. This time, a bit of a slot ball, and Advani down the ground, and good work from Harrison, Charles Harrison, the skipper. Does well, collects it, and again, just one more to the total. Yet again, Midpuri just looking and trying to just keep it down as quiet as possible. Latine down the ground. Opportunity, no, that'll be over, that'll be 6. That's a nice shot from Latine. It was too full from Kabir Midpuri, who just looks back and just wonders what's happened there. It was a good shot from Latine. He took it on the shorter 50-metre boundary, and he got all of it. And it caught a piece, and it went 6 more. Good contest this between Midpuri and Ian Latine. Latine winning at the moment. And this time we'll finish with another dot ball. And at the end of the over, Rugby CC are 15 for 1 after 2. It looks as if Bakari is going to continue then. 15 for 1 after 2 at the moment for Rugby CC. And of course, that's the story at the moment in terms of who's where in the standings. Rugby CC now on 8 points, of course. A win here would put them on 10 and would get them ever closer to Pirates who are sat on 12 at the moment. So that will certainly help proceedings. Bakari. Advani just pushes down the ground for a single, but good start though. Brings Latine back on strike. Oh, that one's a good stop from Bakadeze. It's wide down the leg side. And still just struggling a little bit is Bakari. He's not conceded too many. Of course, went for 3 apart from those 4 leg bars off his over, but conceded, of course, that run there. And then that wide. Ah, that's a superb delivery. Excellent comeback. Well, they're going to get a sneaky one. That's lazy. That's lazy from Sloggers. Poor. It looked as if Gerard Bokhari was just still admiring the delivery he just bowled. It's a peach of a delivery. That's an absolute nut. And he's still just admiring it. And then the team calls Advani through, and they come through for that single. That's good running. And this is down the leg side, and they'll also get a run. That's good running once more. Proving to be on top of things at the moment. This time Lateen just rides the bounce nicely, but he's didn't quite play much of a shot there. It was more of just trying to get himself into the right area. By this time, leg side. And again, it's still superb bowling. Nicely played, though, into the leg side. Interesting. This is the point where Andrus just goes a little bit off the rails, and he's just sending me a few random facts because he can. There's a couple of good ones. And hit firmly back down the ground. Bakari unable to get a hand on it. Oh dear, and Brian Zammit takes a bit of a tumble. So good, we've got to have another look at that one, haven't we? Almost out of nothing, just ready. Whoop, and away he goes. Well, we saw him celebrating and getting his that business, that sponsor in. That's always good advertising there. You can make a meme out of that one, that's for sure. Lunar New Year holiday in Taiwan. Well, there you go. That's on today, apparently. Last delivery of the third. And it's another dot ball, and Lateen has just chewed up a few there. And Bakari gives him a bit of a wink and says, yep, fair play. I think I got you then. And that's the end of the over. And Bakari bowled well for his 2. Goes 1 for 9. And at the end of the third, Rugby CC are 22 for 1. You can see that the downfall really for Sloggers. Those last couple of overs just slowed up. Had a good middle period, but this 8th, 9th and 10th going for 7, 6, 2 respectively just wasn't really the finish that you want. It's not what you really are planning to finish with. And that's why if Lateen's there at the end, then anything's possible for Rugby CC. They're behind the raid at the moment, but still within with a shout. 61 off 42 is the equation. And the man who took a bit of a tumble is now going to be taking the over here. Brian Zammit is going to take us into this 4th over. This time, this is a nice shot from Advani. The chase is on, and I don't think the ball's going to win. It won't. That's good work from Christian Barbada. And it's 2 more to the total. Advani's looked pretty confident at the moment. Hasn't got a boundary yet, but there's only been 1, and that's been a 6 off Lateen, so can't argue much. This zips up and almost pushes it through a little bit, Zammit, but it's another single. Lateen against Zammit, then this is going to be a good competition. Lateen likes pace on the ball. advances and tries to take it downtown. And that's well watched from Harrison. Ensures he gets everything behind it, and again, just a single. Full toss, and over the top, and it's gone through Frioni. It's going to run away. Bakari's on the chase, and he gets a foot on it. He'll come back for two, but that just flew off the face of the bat of Advani. That's another 2 to that total then. Moves on to 10, does Advani. 10 off 10, as is Latin. Change of angle. And it almost pays off. Superb delivery. Gets through everything. And Zamet has had a quiet second half to this first week than the first one. Almost had a breakthrough. Full toss. Leg side straight to the man, and almost a possible mix-up. Last thing you want is to run out your star man, and Advani almost had a bit of a nightmare there. And that, of course, does bring us to the end of the over. And 4 overs down, 28 for 1 on the board then. Of course, Watkins bringing a premature end to his night as he was gone for a 2-ball duck. Turn a bone then into the attack, and the team just starts with the push confidently down the ground. And well, that's a leg side wide, and very elegantly left by Advani. And that's, again, all he has to do, because all of these extras will add up. Of course, that's now 54 off of 35, and that'll be now 53. And this is carved away just before Julian Frioni, and that's just one more. But again, just missing out on those poorer deliveries, as Advani really hasn't been able to really pounce on a shorter or looser ball. Struck firmly for brilliant shot. Ian Latine trying to move on with things now, and understandably so, because he knows that a big over would really make it a more comfortable chase, and that's exactly what he's done. Lovely shot for more. We've seen that shot so many times over the last couple of days, haven't we? Especially in this first week. It's been really nice to watch. Well, this time, good appeal, but turned down. Possibly pitching outside leg. Not pitching outside, but going down. This is flat batted, slapped. And mid-putty just casually fields it for one. Advani trying to hit it over, but isn't able to do so. Another tidy over comes to an end then. Goes for just 8. And at the end of the 5th over, Rugby CC 36 for 1. Good evening then. Welcome back to the commentary box here in Gibraltar with myself, Charlie Hunt, for the European Cricket Network. And of course, coming to a slow end to my little adventure here in Gibraltar. But there's plenty more to come, of course. Another 2 weeks almost of cricket here in Gibraltar, potentially more as well. But there's plenty of cricket left to come, and it's been a privilege to call the first week of cricket, but I'm leaving you in the very capable hands of Rico Full And I know he's very, very excited. But it's been a pleasure. And of course, we still have 5 overs of cricket left to come. And could be a few twists and turns. Brian Zammit continuing then. Well, Ian Latine coming down the track, and his first movement was away from the ball, and that's not really going to be very helpful. A wicket now would be very, very crucial for the Sloggers. And well, it's not going to be that one because it's a false start. Tim has takeaway. That's what it is. That's the company. There you go. We've seen some very, very good celebrations. Will we see one this one? Yeah, we won't. I thought I was going to pull off some magic. That's a single. This one is trying to continue that angle around the wicket to Advani. Getting it slightly wrong there, just too wide. Up in the air, there's no one in the in-ring, so that should just be a comfortable 2. They'll take on the arm of mid, putting Latine back pretty comfortably. He's a quick runner between the wickets, and it's again 2 more. Now, once again, this total is coming down and what potentially could be a nail-biting finish. This time, he's just pushed. He's right off the toe. And they still get a single, though, for their troubles. And this is carved away. However, it's straight to the man and out in the outfield for Ernie. This one is yet again 1 more. This is once more proving like it's going to come down to a potential nail-biting finish. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Could be a close one. 41 of 25 then. Just under 10 and over. It's doable whilst you've still got Latine at the middle. And super delivery. And Brian Zammit finally gets his wicket, and his involvement finally comes off to a bit of success. And it's another wicket goes, and it's Nikhil Advani goes for a well-made 14, but his fun comes to an end. 42 for 2 at the end of the 6th for Rugby CC. Full and straight, really, from Zammit. Advani just missing it completely. And you can just hear, he hears that clatter of timber. And it means he has to go and makes that long walk back to the pavilion. As I said then, 42 for 2 after 6 then, and this is becoming a bit of a close encounter. Latine needs as much of the strike as possible, really, if he's going to go and play a match-winning innings. Of course, Pudi only went for 8, but he's still got an over left. Gary Turner-Bone looks as if he's going to bowl out his second over here, as the new batsman is Samath Bodda, comes out to the middle then. Of course, came in at number 3 last time, but struggled a little bit, and obviously the team came down at number 3, whilst Advani went up to the top. So that's the change. Well, Bodda coming in at number 4 can certainly hold a bat, that's for sure. Turner-Bone then back into the frame against Latine, and Latine advances again, doesn't middle it. Harrison, pretty simple really. It's just 1. You can hear some Spanish being spoke out in the middle. That's Mid-Puri, who's getting his opinions known. Samath Bodda then, all he needs to do is just give Latine as much of the strike. Just play an anchor role, really. It's all he needs to do. And this one. It's It's a good start up against the new batsman, though. And this is firmly struck, and they take on Zammit, and it causes the mistake. Good positive running and rewarded for it as well, single. Again, Yorks himself means it's just pushed down the ground. So much so he does the fielding off his own batting as well. And he's obviously getting a little bit bored and possibly frustrated at the moment as Latine. He's now 20 off of 19. Oh, Bodder straight down, and that's good work for him. I think that's Steve Mumford. That was a very good evasive dive, that was. We'll take another look at this one. That's so good. That's brilliant. Oh, Steve Mumford take a bow. Gary Turner Bone almost picks a wicket, hits the inside edge. That'll be a dot ball to end the over. And at the end of the 7th, Rugby CC, 45 for 2. That's brilliant. Superb from Mr. Mumford. Oh dear. It's always a bit of entertainment at some random points in the game. And well, this could be an interesting bit of time in the game then, as the new bowler is going to be Aaron Baglietto up against Ian Latine. Latine took him to the cleaners last time, went for 25 off his over. It's got to be now, doesn't it? 38 runs required in 18 balls, so 38 off the last 3 needs to go. And this one almost falls onto his stumps. Good start from Baglietto, though. Dot balls are crucial. They are gold dust in this format. And dragged leg side again, doesn't middle it. Bakari's the man on the leg side fielder. And this will just be one superb from Baglietto. The team possibly just trying to overhit, if anything. Samath Bodder might try and take him on here. This could be an interesting matchup, this. Couple of changes in the field, just minuscule changes though. Bodder again looks as if he's struggling early on once more. Just can't seem to get himself in the right position. He played a very good innings coming in at number 3 a few days ago in his first involvement in the tournament, but since then, or even just today, he just has struggled a little bit. Latine just giving him a bit of a talking to, just coaching him through it a little bit. Possibly just saying, just get one. And struck firmly. There's to split the field 4. Good shot from Samath Bodder. Well, that's going to shut me up, isn't it? Because that's a lovely shot. Waits on it nicely, and it's a short delivery, and it sits up, and it's just like taking candy from a baby. And Samath Bodder pounces on it and 4 more. Again, down the ground. There's no one, there's a vacant area. Ismid Pudi going to get round? He will. That's good bit of fielding off, coming from a very wide long off all the way around to long on, and he will just cut it off, and it's another 2. 31 off of 13. Next over needs to be a decent one as well. Next over for Rugby CC is crucial. Last delivery here though. Pacarese possibly chewing up a few bit moments of time as well. Of course, just over 12 minutes should be okay, if anything. Should be fine, but just see. And they're gonna come through for a single. And that's an ideal situation really for Sloggers. It means Bodder will keep the strike at the end of the 8th over. Rugby CC 53 for 2. So 30 off the last 2, then 15 off the last off 2 overs is all it is. Just one big over. This needs to go, doesn't it? Just need 2 or 3 boundaries and it come back. They've been steady, haven't they? They haven't really accelerated heavily at Rugby CC. They've not really taken much or many risks, but Ian Latine is still on the middle, and well, means Bodder's going to take the first delivery here, and he must be thinking just a single, as it looks as if it's looking like it's going to be Emerson Robegno is going to take this 9th over. Here we go then. And this is hit firmly down the ground, and Latine will be happy because he gets the strike. Now this could be an interesting period in this game. This is either going to be where it's won or lost for both sides. 19 off 11. Sorry, 29 off 11, I should say.
Sorry, Ian, sorry. Inside.
There's someone just moving at the wrong time. Just trying to get everyone filled. Field is pretty packed leg side. Full toss, hasn't got all of it. Puri comes round and it will just be a single. Unless there's a misfield. They won't take it on as a potential there on that one, but it's a single. And again, it means Bodder's on strike, and Latine just looks as if he's, for the first time, looks as if he's struggling to find the middle. First time all tournament I've been able to say that. It just doesn't seem as if he's going at the same rate as he has been previously. Wide and flat batted down the ground. Again, not cleanly out of the middle. It's just a single. It's got to be the next 3 deliveries, hasn't it, for Latine? He's got to find 2 boundaries. Needs to get this down into the teens for that last over to have any chance. It's going to be Mid-Puri that's going to bowl that. It's a dead set. It's not going to be an easy one at all. But Latine needs to get potentially 2 out of 3 boundaries here. And this is up in the air. This will be one of them. That'll be 6. And that's 1 out of at least 2 that he needs off these last 3 deliveries of this over. But that is 6. And all of a sudden, it's now 21 needed off 8. Louis Bruce is saying it's about time Ian stopped middling them. He didn't even middle that, but it still went the way. It's 2 deliveries left then. And that was a juicy full toss, and Latine's not going to miss out. This time over the offside. I don't think he's found the gap. He doesn't. Good work from Frioni. And Samath Bodder's going to take him on, and he will. And there could be more here. And they're going to come back for 3. It's a very rare 3 in European Cricket Network. But we've seen one here. They're almost as rare as a golden ball. But it's 3 to the total then. That's excellent running though. Great awareness. They took it on. Samath Bodder was more keen than Latine, if truth be told. You can see here Latine wanted it. Latine didn't want it really. Bodder was going to the danger end. It was selfless cricket, and he comes back for the 3rd. Last delivery then. And this is firmly struck down the ground, and they're not going to take the single. Mid-Puri getting a little bit of chat out there as well. Mid-Puri's getting loud. No real surprise though. And at the end of the over, interesting one. 65 for 2 after 9. 18 needed off 6. Last over, and no surprise, it is going to be Mid-Puri who's going to take this last over then. He's vocal in the field. He's vocal off the field as well, but he's got to let the cricket do the talking now. No one's really sat down. There's a big tense feeling about this at the moment. $18 runs needed off the last then. There's a couple of people are saying the word. I'm not going to say it myself, but people in the chat are putting it in there. Oh, that always gives it away, but this could be close. And no real surprise that they're going to take their time to get the field set. Latine needs a 6 in the first 2, really, doesn't he? Needs to have a maximum in the first 2 deliveries. Here we go then. 18 needed off the last. And this will be a boundary. That'll be 4. Good start to the over for Ian Latine. And once more, it puts Kapil Mid-Puri under the pressure straight away in the over. All of a sudden, it's now a much simpler task. It's now 14 needed off 5. Here we go then. It's 14 off 5. And Midpuri under pressure. Goes again, and don't think this is going to go all the way. It shouldn't. Zamet will keep it, and they're going to come back. And that's excellent bit of running. The fielder's thrown to the wrong end, if truth be told. And it now comes back for a second. Here we go, then. This is a big, big moment in this game. And there are even conversations now between bowler and wicket-keeper, of course. Just seeing what they think should be done. Another player comes across on the offside this time, which frees up that leg side even more, as it's now 12 off 4. Could do it in 3 hits then. 12 off 4, 11 for a golden ball. Well, I've said it. There we go. I've put it out there. I've put it into the universe. 12 off 4. Short and hit hard, hit firm. 4 more again. Ian Latine is on top of Kabir Midpuri at the moment. He just can't find an answer. Can Midpuri? Latine comes forward once more. He tries to take a different approach and bowl a shorter delivery, but Latine is equal to it, and he hits another 4, and it's now 8 off of 3 for Rugby CC. Eight runs needed then. Dot ball needed for Sloggers. It's a dot ball. That's ideal for... That is ideal for Sloggers CC. That's that's a good bit of bowling from Midpuri. Credit where credit's due. Pushed it wider, kept it out of the arc of Ian Latine, and all of a sudden it comes down to the last 2 balls. He just felt that this was going to come down to a nail-biting finish. What a way to finish the evening's play. 8 off 2 then. Ian Latine versus Kabir Midpuri. It doesn't get much better than this. He's gone high in the air, hasn't got anything on it. Midpuri trying to take one over his shoulder, and he puts it down. And he also spills it more, and it goes for another run. And they come back for 2. Well, this is an interesting situation then. Well, let's take a look at this one then. Went sky high, and he felt as if he'd cleared it over enough, but Midpuri it wasn't an easy catch. It was over his shoulder, puts it down, and the equation is simple then. 6 needed off this last ball. Crazy situation if we have 5 off it and it's a golden ball, but I don't think we're going to see that though. And they're now just going to question as to what they're going to do. Latine knows what he's going to do. He knows. He's such a veteran in the sport of cricket here in Gibraltar. He knows what he's thinking. He knows what he's going to be trying to do. Wouldn't surprise to see him if he comes down the track. But here it will come down to this last ball then. And this has been an excellent way to finish the night's play. 6 needed off the last then. 6 needed. Goes down the ground and he hasn't got it. And that will go for 4, but it doesn't matter. I don't think Zamet's quite realised, but I think he will now. And it means that the Sloggers will take a victory by the minuscule margin here in Gibraltar. They will win. And Midpuri, he was under a lot of pressure, but Sloggers beat Rugby CC by just 1 run here in Gibraltar. That is a superb way to end the evening's play. What a game we had there. 2 thrilling matches, if truth be told. It was a nice way to end it though, wasn't it? Latine, all smiles around though on the field, of course. Handshakes all around, but what a way to finish the game. The team finishes on 47, not out again, just shy of that half century, but it also means that his team will finish 1 run short. Then we can go ahead and take a look at those highlights of this second innings. It was 4 byes, leg byes to start, wasn't it? But then next up, Watkins, he was caught, wasn't he? Pretty simple. And that was, again, superb bit of bowling at the top from Bacardi. But again, it meant that Ian Latine came in and he just wasn't able to bring it over the line. He just couldn't do it, couldn't he? 9 times out of 10, you'd argue that he's been there and he's done it for his team, but it just clearly wasn't meant to be. And there was, again, you just take a look at some different opportunities and different times in the game where they just could have taken that 1 extra run. There may have been a dot ball that could have been turned into a 1, but it obviously just wasn't meant to be. Zamet got that wicket. Udvani, who was pushed up to the top of the order. Now that one, it was excellent from umpire there. He got out of the way. He was protected. Samath Bodda came into the attack and started off well with a nice boundary, but then struggled. And Latine, well, it was him against Midpuri in that last over. and he was able to get a few away, wasn't he? It was 6 needed off that last ball, and he hit some lovely shots, didn't he? This was a dropped catch though, Midapudi dropping the return catch. But of course, he would have the last laugh as the team wasn't able to quite get enough elevation on it and enough power, and it went for 4. But it wasn't enough. Sloggers took a victory then by 1 run. And what a way to end the evening's play, and what a way to end my time in Gibraltar. It's been an absolute pleasure to be calling the last week of games here, and what a week we've had. We saw some ups and downs for all 4 teams, and I think I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Rico Full, of course, and he's got a good week coming up as well, as these 4 teams will go at it again, of course, and we'll be back tomorrow with Rico Full on the European Cricket Network. But a huge thanks to everyone for tuning in then once again this evening, to everyone on FanCode in India, and also on our YouTube channel and on the live chat. Everyone, thanks all the moderators as well for keeping the community safe out there as well. But also huge thanks to everyone here at the ground, so to the Spring Productions as well, to the crew there. It's been incredible, hasn't it? And it's been a real pleasure to be calling the games with the crew here, with Andres, with Ramans, and with Richard as well. They've been incredible. They are the best in the business at the moment. They are very, very good at what they do. They put the magic that we see out there onto your screens, and they are incredible at what they do. A huge thanks to you 3. And I look forward to working with you all again, but also to the blue crew here on the ground. Of course, Samir left us yesterday, as that means that Jay came in and he's been scoring today. But a huge thanks to Mida, to Steph, to Manav, to Shub as well, but also to Marzi and to Jay as well. Huge thanks to all of you, and to everyone back in the office as well. A huge thanks to you guys as well. And it's a big project what's going on here on the European Cricket Network, and it's only getting bigger and better, of course, with more tournaments coming up this year and everything being planned for the years ahead. It's going to be an exciting time here on the European Cricket Network. I certainly can't wait, and I hope you join us for the ride. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you want to get in contact with me, get on my socials. You'll find them everywhere. They're around somewhere. I won't plug them purposely, but you can go ahead and find them. But until next time, my name's been Charlie Hunt. You've been watching the FanCode European Cricket T10 here in Gibraltar, and we'll see you in the next time. See you later.